sort of insect bite. He went kayaking, and then he was like, "Yeah, I got this spot," and then like it grew to like there was a red skin around it like this, and then a little tail that was just going like this, and we're like,
That's not normal.
Yeah, that's not like I've seen mosquito bites and I've seen spider bites. Normally they don't spread. That one, yeah.
Yeah, so he ended up being in the hospital for a couple days, and he ended up whatever he was taking, because they thought it might have been MRSA, so he was quarantined.
Oh,
That might have been what?
MRSA, medical resistant staph infection.
Oh,
that's
I
not
think
good.
that's not what the A is, but
sure.
but yeah.
The
So
cool thing is,
you
you
had
can
to
tell me
wash
like
your hands
anything
anytime you went in
medical.
and out. You had to
I'd be like,
I
yeah,
would
that's
believe you.
probably
Like,
right.
yeah, that's the
We actually had to wear like the first level of hazmat suits, like where you just put on like basically a hospital gown. It's like super thin, and then
You guys had to?
yeah, just to go in and out. Dude,
I would have been like, well, I appreciate you as a sibling. I'll
Just
see
away
you in a
from
month.
the
Hope you're doing okay.
But he made it out. But he had the same. He was whatever they were giving him, maybe whatever antibiotic he was allergic to. So he had to wake up, get those injections, wake up again, take the Benadryl to make himself, not freeze up. And the best part is, he was as big as he is now, but he was 17 and a half.
Jeez.
So he was in the children's ward.
That's right, because I remember you telling me that all the nurses
Awesome.
were hitting
All the
him.
nurses would like, well, first of all, that's where they put all the young nurses. Because he was in the kids' ward, so.
Right.
But also, they'd be going like, okay, new patient, who's this?
boy.
All right, boom, boom, boom. He weighs how many kilos?
Awesome.
They did it in kilos?
Okay, so it is almost 7,
What kind of communist hospital do you guys go to?
I think most staffers in New Texas.
and Melissa is, I believe, listening currently, so everyone can say hi.
Hi,
to
Melissa.
At least
Melissa.
someone's listening.
Like streaming or
So we are streaming. We're on YouTube, and I'm doing this in hopes that I can
Are
both
we on the
stream.
internet?
Yeah, I'm doing this in hopes that we can both stream it and also have it for later.
do you have a live count of viewers?
Yes, 1.
Neat. I want to make that too.
Unless I hope it's you and not some
Where's
random
your
expert.
YouTube? I didn't know that I had your Wi-Fi. I guess that makes sense.
I will post this on the chat just in case everyone wants to use it at some point. And it will never be seen again because we'll talk over
What are we
it.
called?
There we go.
John's D&D vlog. 1,300 subscribers.
Nope, not that one. He is way too popular.
Josh Workset. 199 videos. That's probably not the Josh we know.
Oh, hey, Dave, you're not on here, Chris.
Yeah.
Can someone copy that over for Chris?
And it to me.
He's not on Facebook.
I want to up our video count so that we gain traction so that
We're up to 3.
Matt Mercer sees us.
Why are we up to 3?
Well, there's one there. Is that you?
Yes. No, that's him.
That's Steven?
Do you want Matt Mercer watching us play?
Yes!
No!
Yes! Why wouldn't we?
Because I'm really bad at this game.
That would be pretty cool.
I love getting our dialogue on like a 2-second delay. God, I hate the sound of my voice
Hello.
so much.
Me too.
Okay, everyone. For the 2 people who were actually here for last session,
If you speak loud enough, the recording will pick it up and we'll get like Uber feedback.
I'm muting that.
I thought that whatever was that. the
No,
fire
it's just
coming
gonna be
out?
constantly
That is the
looping.
helicopter.
It's literally looping. Thank you. Okay. Man, we're a mess, guys. Would one of the 2 people who was here
I take notes. That's
Wait,
why I
wait,
take
oh, I
notes.
did not take notes.
I was in Michigan.
Oh, I did because I saw something
I
cool.
went to Mackinac Island to visit
Alright.
my family.
That's right. I remember you telling me that.
They were there, and so was I. That's the point of this.
In a room with an intelligently crafted bed and a larva-like creature crawling into it.
Intelligently
Alright,
crafted
Here
bed
on my notes.
and a
verbatim.
larva-like creature.
It was just, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about the larva-like creature in the intelligently crafted bed. How can you say don't worry about something like that?
I got this.
It was a vision.
We found a spider.
That's
pendant.
not better.
How did we start?
We should probably kill him. He's probably
We
evil.
started out
Me?
right after
No,
the
no,
fight,
him.
Right after the
No.
fight, I identified
He's the one that had the
spider
vision of.
pendant.
Yep.
And
Sugar
then
plums
you guys
and
explored
Larva-like
the
creatures.
So-
spider.
What was that last thing you said?
Josh's character, who has a
50 feet of
name,
rope?
Fire.
The one right before
Fire and
that.
I went and explored the cavern.
Two people.
Hey guys,
you
you know that y'all are the ones who are trying to figure this out, right?
It's not my fault Stephen talks quiet and Caleb talks loud.
Welcome back, Caleb.
I
So-
would see myself out, but Paul's my ride.
Fire and I made sure that the spider tunnels were clear, or at least some of them,
Good.
while Aldrich identified the pendant that we found on one of the spiders. The pendant ended up being what appeared to be a one-way, well, I guess just a scrying stone, but it had a couple like.
I don't know if
We
it was
went and
one-way.
looked into a bedroom that had a larva-like creature on it. On the bed.
Using the scrying stone.
Yeah, and then we looked into it
I'm
again.
guessing you guys didn't actively scry on that so
No.
much as just like,
We
We
just
just looked
let's
into it.
try
we
it.
looked
yeah.
into the
Okay.
thing.
It wasn't like, I want to
Yeah.
check up on my pet larva.
Not
It's kind of like a
that
baby
Because
monitor.
that would be a little weird.
After that, we kept going through the
A
tunnels
larva monitor.
Well, I looked-
towards the direction where we thought basilisks were.
I looked in twice.
Yeah.
I looked in. Did you go through the second one?
The second time, I just said we found a draw. We saw a drowsy.
Yeah, and it seemed to be some sort of like religious thing, worshiping some mysterious spider thing that I have no idea what it was because I rolled a critical one.
Nice.
So did it look like when you? So am I understanding correctly that the pendant was like you were like looking into the pendant, almost like a crystal ball kind of thing?
Yeah.
And
Each
did,
time they looked into it, it showed something different.
okay.
It's currently on Fire's person, covered with a robe or something like that. Yeah.
We don't know.
Not all accounted for, the lost seeing stones.
Hmm.
Do not know who else may be watching.
And there was no audio.
There was no
No
audio.
audio.
So
Audio is
after that,
like a scrying spell.
In scrying, you would.
so we continued down. We found one more spider. We killed it. And we were going to continue sneaking down. But Ashlog made the executive decision that raging was more important. So we proceeded to inflict damage on ourselves to maintain the rage and then charge down the tunnel.
Interesting.
We found a row of what looked like where spiders had brought all of their meals and they were lined up. We got a little bit of gold from that, but not much. I think that was
6 dead bodies.
6 dead bodies, 2 human, 2 gnome, 1 halfling, 1 dragonborn. They seem to be from different like times and groups. We had just enough time to loot the corpses when Ashlog was gone again. We found a big room with a couple of petrified spiders
Ooh, that's a good sign.
and some eggs of some creature. I don't think we ever knew what they were.
I think it was a lot of eggs of basilisks.
Okay, we did identify them as basilisks.
Like occupied eggs
Cracked
or like
open.
cracked open
Cracked
and empty?
open and all empty.
That is not good news.
So we followed the footsteps that led away, the bipedal footsteps that went away from the basilisk nursery, and found a drow outpost on top of a series of descending walkways. Ashlog used the potion of etherealness that we still had to float down and see what there was. And we found the basilisks. They're being used as canine units for the drow.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Drug sniffers.
Yeah,
Anything else important?
probably.
We found where we were when you looked up in that room.
Oh, yeah. The initial place we went in, and then while we were hiding, then they went down. And there was stuff because I followed the footsteps. There's that place.
On top of that, they also did manage to find a book that seemed to contain notes of some kind. And also,
Poison arrows.
you found a couple of bolts.
Yeah.
Not arrows, bolts.
Yes.
Because you
Which is good because I get the crossbow.
I believe they're sleepy bolts.
Why don't you try and prick yourself
they
upon
might
see?
This pleases me.
Okay. So, this is where we start off our adventure, is at the edge of this crevice with the opening above you and potentially more cave to explore. As for the actual cave that y'all are in, I do not have the exact tiles that we were using because they're at Melissa's house. But for the most part, the room that y'all are in is basically a large circle-ish cavern. It has a bridge that kind of lies off. It has an entrance. The bridge has an entrance to the north and to the east, and they kind of join up, and it continues on and loops back down into the actual crevice, which is down towards where the actual city is. Other semi-important things that Ashlag would have mentioned had she had been here, and it would have been also the structures used down in the city very much dwarven. So I do not know if Drow take over a city or if they down there as well.
Huh.
I apologize, Melissa.
So, shall we make our exit?
You don't want to go and say hi.
I
Mm,
feel
not
like
particularly.
I feel like a city is a little more than we are capable of dealing.
You having fun there, Paul?
Capable of dealing with at the moment. Oh, and it's like he's shooting.
We don't have any drow in our party because that's
Nope.
not Stephen this time.
Well, that is Stephen. That time. He's a dragonborn.
Do we know if the drow are just like friendly to casual guests?
Oh, they
Strikes
have
me
basilisks
something they
as
wouldn't
pets.
be.
I feel like
Seems like a dangerous
Just-
risk.
kind of feel like the
Not
drow are
only a-
the kind of things that you would be told about to like scare children growing up. So I feel like we would know that drow
We
are
don't-
not necessarily the
We don't really have a reason. Correct?
For what?
I am not partial to going down there. The basilisk that I wanted, I expected to be alone. I think it's too much of a risk.
yeah, I think I agree with Ashlog there.
I too.
Was that Ashlag or was it?
That was Ashlog. Yeah, that was one thing that
I
Melissa
don't know if
told
you were
me.
speaking with
she had said it at the end of last
That's a long time
session.
ago.
And that was one of the things she told me, is that she would prefer to not go down into the city of Drow.
Right then,
And
let's leave
Okay.
Back to the way we came.
with
so
haste.
there's back the way we came, or we can head up through this little chimney here.
How would we go up there? I mean, the hole itself is big, so I mean we could fit through, but how do we get up there? Because when I looked
It's
through
not
it
a
with
far.
fire,
It's not a long hike. Let's
there's
just hike back.
a long.
We haven't-
It was a
we didn't
long,
rest at all.
long fall.
Right.
Y'all have not
Rest
rested.
Not since the long rest at the mouth of the cave.
Prior to the
Coming down
session
here.
before.
And
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's the afternoon right now.
It is still the afternoon times. You have the sun has already passed over the
So-
actual opening, so
It's been about a little over half a day.
Mm,
don't think I used any spells.
We didn't use any of your spells.
We almost
important. They
Sorry.
wanted to though.
I know.
I should say we didn't use either of your spells.
Okay. I feel like that's a little uncalled for. I have 2 spell slots. I have many spells. It's not uncommon for spellcasters to have more spells than they have spell slots.
very common.
Okay, so y'all are wanting to backtrack and go the way that you came.
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of our only option, because there's no way that we can
I
float through the air to go through the ceiling.
I could cast fly on us, but it seems like a waste since we're going
I
to be
agree.
going out
Yeah.
the way we came in.
We
Anyway.
might. The only risk is it'll avoid possible spiders that we run into.
Oh, I thought you guys. We cleaned them out on the way in.
Oh, I would be shocked if they had moved back within hours. Watch us say that, and they'll have moved again.
30 spiders later.
I mean, to be fair, there were only 3 people. There might be more spiders.
now that there's 4 people, there's
No, y'all managed to make your way back into the room that the nesting seemed to have happened in. The same 3 spiders that were petrified there seem to still be chilling over towards the entrance of that room. You do manage. Are y'all trying to do this sneakily at all?
I mean, we didn't come through sneakily.
Yeah, we sprinted.
Yeah.
just
Not,
go
not
at a normal
particularly
pace, I suppose.
just making
Y'all
our way
just-
back out.
Casually making your way back out. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Should I be scouting ahead a little bit?
It's dark.
Never mind.
It is dark. Y'all have moved away from the sole light source back there. So going on past this point, you're going to be back into total darkness.
I'll lead.
I guess I'll
Um,
be in
as
the back
y'all get
with-
back into the room
my light,
that
so I
had
can see at
the
least-
people plastered across the wall, you make it through. There doesn't seem to be much changed in any of these rooms. You make it back out into the room that had the divide in it. Y'all still see the same webbed tunnel, that offshoot that y'all did not explore the first time. Still seems to be undisturbed. Y'all successfully make your way back out towards the entrance of the cave, and y'all are on the home stretch. So you make your way outside of the cave if y'all do not wish to do any more exploring, and make your way back onto the Woven Pass.
I'm okay with that idea. Anyone have any objections?
I mean,
Ranger,
now,
how many hours of daylight travel time do you think we have?
Oh, we have about not much, because it was about a half day's journey to get to where we were, and Well, we probably went like a tiny bit faster because we didn't have.
Y'all have about a half day's travel that y'all could reasonably do. Y'all had turned in early the night before. There's still going to be sunlight for a couple hours at least, even though it is winter-ish time. As y'all approach the mouth of the cave, you do see the snow that had built up from the night before.
Do I see any bipedal tracks like the ones that Fire and I?
Go ahead and roll that one with survival check.
Let's try these new dice out. 13.
Thanks, new dice.
Maybe I should not have remembered these.
Y'all do see the same tracks that you had followed before, as well as your own following them. You look out onto the Woven Pass. You do see it looks like you're not the only person to have traveled this pass today. You see what seems to be a set of horse tracks, maybe carrying a wagon.
Well, the only people with the wagon in this world is the two gnomes, so you
We're
know.
probably fine.
Yeah, I think harmless. Watch that come back to bite me.
Where are we heading?
Well,
Back to the city, the capital.
Okay.
Going back to the
For the start of the hunt?
I mean, it's where the other end of the path comes out, so
Okay.
we can do whatever we want once we get there.
It's Grandma.
Hmm.
I'll give her a call back later.
Will you though?
Yes. Yes, Grandma, I will.
Our third mystery streamer, of course.
Maybe she wants to play too.
she's telling us it's a terrible idea. So, out of the bounties that we'd heard of, it was spiders, it was a basilisk.
Was there actually a bounty for the basilisks? I don't recall hearing
I
that.
don't-
I don't know if
thought
there's
it
a
was
Bounty,
Just-
but it was more of just
Well,
like
slugs.
a big. I think it was more
Had
like
we just heard about them.
big, powerful creature kind of thing.
Ashlog, as far as I'm aware, unless I am just straight up spacing on it, she decided to explore those on her own.
Okay. So, southern spiders by the drain leg was what we found on the bounty board. There's a dragon in the mountains. Hired muscle was we already did, and kidnap kids with Gretchen. We talked to Gretchen, didn't we?
Didn't we kill Gretchen?
Wait, what?
That might not have gone as well
Yeah.
as it could have.
Yesterday?
Was that Gretchen?
The old woman with the scarecrows?
Didn't think I caught her name.
I mean, I don't think she was the mother of the missing children.
Right. I mean, she might be the
Would be a
new
good
mother.
cover. It'd be a great cover.
I'm looking for my children.
I have
If you find any, bring them to me. I promise they're mine. That's how we did fetch quest for the witch.
I mean,
we've done dumber things than
No, it's true.
Stand
We collected
by-
something from her and from King K. Rool as evidence that we killed them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have their
Okay.
heads, I think.
I don't know if I
Teeth,
took the
maybe?
hag's head.
it was King Carol.
Or whatever her henchman was. That's how I pictured him in my head.
Oh,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the scarecrows.
The
Oh,
Oni.
that's not King Cruel.
That one.
that's
I think we took both of their heads, didn't we? And we put them
We
in
might
the
have.
bag
Yeah,
with
we
ice.
put them in the bag of holding,
I'm
and
Or- I don't think we have a bag of colding. I think we just put
we
them
have
in
a
the
bag of holding, and
We
lots
gave
of
we
snow.
put
and
ice in
lots-
it.
and we iced it.
We have snow in the ice dragon.
Does that work? I'm suspicious.
He cast.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's right. You
Preserved
guys,
components.
I put copper on it and cast whatever that spell is.
gentle repose.
keep
Yeah,
the
that's
dead
what it
from
was.
keep the dead from melting.
Oh gosh, that's disgusting.
Stop it! He's already dead.
But because you then like
the
froze their heads or
anti-schlop
something.
Well, I mean, I can breathe on them and do cold things.
Ice them both.
Exactly.
Ice.
Ice.
So, going places.
Dragon?
Don't we do we
Y'all
want-
still have, I believe, y'all are down to 3 days to make it back for the entrance.
So that might be something that we do.
How long
Might
does
as
it?
well.
After
How long
the
does it
hunt is
take
started.
to
Headed that way
get
anyway.
back to the capital city?
It'd be about a day and a half
Day
for
and a
the
half.
travel.
So we could go back and then have a day and a half of researching the dragon, trying to figure out where it might be, how old it might be. I've,
Is it a boy dragon?
A girl dragon.
I mean, of
'Cause you
course you
just
are.
reeking. We don't have a bard though.
Yet.
Yet. We could.
All we have to do is kill Paul.
Yeah, I won't come in as a bard.
He's already got it. He's already got a bard. He's trying every single class.
Yes. My hope is to play every single class before this campaign.
In a single campaign.
every D&D class in one campaign. I feel like it probably is important that we be there for the opening ceremony, as far as we're embarrassaries.
Diplomatic relations are important.
So we could try and see if there's anything else we can kill. And why are you holding your knife like that? We could have a day and a half of travel, and then a day and a half roughly to rest, research the dragon, or we could skip the opening ceremony, which I feel like will make the king rather displeased. He seemed to make
be back for the opening.
it seemed to make
At this
a point
point,
of
we're going to be there when we need to be, so we might as well attend.
I will remind y'all, because I don't know who actually has it. Y'all do have a sending stone that seems to be your red phone.
Oh, I thought that was to the king of Kruika. Is that to the king of this?
Yep, that
the
is
king
to-
of this land.
This land.
You have it. I'm pretty sure.
And you.
Actually, no, I am pretty sure that you have the stone.
I do, in fact.
The
Would you like it?
No, I'm not very good at talking to people or with them.
So I was pointing that out in case because y'all do seem to have questions quite often about, like, how important is this? And you do have a way of
I feel
asking.
like we already asked him,
Well, you did.
and
But
he
y'all
gave us
still seem
some
to be confused.
cryptic, like, it would be a good idea, but I'm not going to kill you if you aren't here.
We should be back for the opening ceremony, especially if we're supposed to be doing this as embarrassaries.
Right then, the decision is made. Let's
just head back.
Cool.
Okay.
We
Should we see if there's anything to kill on the way home? What was it? Wait, what was it? Wait, hold on. Fractal, what was that very first thing you said? That was the bounty board? You said spiders? Should we, scavenge spiders?
I got one of the legs.
I
got
don't
a ton
think
of
it
poison
was
arrows.
just bring spiders to us. There's an infestation that they wanted removed.
Yeah, and it was
Oh.
separate from the hunt, in that it was more. Yeah, there's an infestation. What needs to be removed?
And also, I don't think it was on the path that we're traveling.
Oh, okay. Where was it?
Well, if memory
Perhaps
serves, it was
south. One of
south
those
In the
two.
woods.
Perhaps somewhere in between.
In the woods.
Where I want to go.
Oh.
so that
I'm
would
very, very bad with maps.
Yeah. Caleb
So that
is
would
too.
help.
Ramus is great at it.
be helpful to you as well.
Well, the hunt
We
goes
should
on.
we should probably stop at the capital for the hunt ceremony first.
Yeah, but the hunt goes on for several days, so we have
7
Time.
in fact.
Yeah, I think it's
It's a week.
so we
Half
have
of a fortnight. It's a terrible unit of measurement.
A fourth of 28 days.
In 1/2 fortnight from today.
So y'all are heading.
So
back.
we're traveling along the path.
Okay.
To
Do I
D.
have?
Does anyone need to take a short or long rest?
I'm fine.
I would use a long rest, but I'm not desperate.
We still have about half a day of travel available to us.
Sounds good.
Does anyone need a quick breather before we start off on our
I
job?
do. I've still got 4 Kai points.
What are those?
The spells for monks.
I've maintained. It's where I maintain my focus to the point where something borderline magical happens, and I can only do it roughly 5 times a day before I just get all worn out.
They would work.
Somehow, though, if I take roughly an hour nap, they all come back magically.
Is it like spirit
It's-
energy?
Fantastic training, you perceive.
Universe juice.
As he drinks the universe juice, he gains power, but he needs to let the universe recharge before he can drink more universe juice.
It's like taking from a battery.
So
just
battery.
tang.
Short rest, or are we going to just
I
go
think-
straight?
I say we go till.
I
We
think
don't
we're fine
need
with
a
that.
short
We don't
rest.
need a short rest. You have all your spells. He has
Okay,
all
yeah.
of his magic.
Those of us who are hurt aren't with us.
Really?
I only have 1 rage left.
How many? What were you doing?
Raging. No.
We apparently missed
Someone
We apparently
had
missed a lot.
to make it to where we did not die.
It was me. I killed everything.
It was very much appreciated.
Hey, what were you doing in those caves, Fire?
I was on vacation.
Did you say fire?
Oh gosh. Misery.
Fire would have been there too.
Eldritch Blast!
You both have
Eldritch
like
Blast.
real words for me.
No!
Real words for names.
Okay.
We are on
So,
our way. We are on our way
do
back
we
to the
have-
city.
Marching
Uh,
order?
marching
How
order.
is the like,
I
how
am
deep
in
is
the
this?
back.
How deep is the
Put-
snow?
Second
The
the back.
snow is about the snow is about 1.5 up to 3 feet,
Are
depending
we back on our
where you're
horses?
We do have horses.
Yes,
Yes,
we do
they're
have
in the
horses.
cave. This is why.
We have 2 horses, is that
We have
correct?
1 horse per person.
Okay, we'll
As-
have a horse.
You'll have
As-
1 horse per person.
As
yes.
poor
okay.
Steven has to remind us every single time, we have 1 horse per person. Okay.
I think it would help if we named them.
That's not a bad idea.
It is a terrible idea. You kidding me?
We
Look
get,
who you're talking
get
to.
attached to
Once you
them.
name them, you start getting attacked.
Well, I, being the ranger and being super good at all things navigating, that's a lie for Caleb. I will be in the front, I suppose.
I'd say put you and Fire in the front.
Fire seems to have disappeared. He's very quiet recently.
I'm still here.
Congratulations, you jinxed it.
Sorry, I'm not trying to shoot you.
I'll
Aldrin.
be next. Where's the front?
This will be the front.
I'll be-
Fire's in the middle.
I'll stay towards the back.
Okay.
We'll have. I'll get rid of these creepy guys. I just wanted to show them off. Yeah, there.
Aldrich found a new
There's Fire.
pet.
Y'all look behind you.
Where do you want to be, Misery?
Second from the front-ish. Somewhere in the middle of the front.
Just because there's a spot.
Second or third, it doesn't matter.
You said you wanted to be in the back, right?
I assume Ashlock would be towards the front.
That's nasty.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And we're traveling.
So I need
Oh,
the
that's just
people
a
who are in the lead to go ahead and make your perception checks as you go along. Are we trying to go fast? Are we trying to just mosey along? And
I guess I'll just start.
I mean, like, we're not exactly going to sneak up on anyone when we're on a well-known traveled path.
That's true.
We'll go cautiously just so that we don't go over the edge of the path, but like normal.
Yeah, I
It's
say
like we aren't going to be
cautiously, not slow fast.
yeah, like we aren't galloping, but we're traveling in
No
normal.
worries. Okay, so go ahead.
Ooh, that's actually good. What is this?
Perception.
10 and 21.
Nice.
Okay. as y'all are traveling along, you manage to make it through. You manage to make it through the Woven Pass very carefully. As the snow has been covering a lot of the actual path that you normally have been taken, but that combined with your high roll combined with the fact that you saw the actual cart tracks that you were just following along, didn't seem to have any problem of wandering too far from the path.
Did I happen to see any other large groups of bipedals that might correspond to the number of orcs that we saw leave their little home cave?
You actually take a look. With the 21, you recall about where they wandered off into the cave. You look over that way, and it does look undisturbed since you had last seen.
Can I make just like a mental note of that area?
Yeah. Mental note taken. Okay. With that, y'all successfully make it through the Woven Pass without much ado. Continuing on down south towards Vandel, and Vandel would be at this point a lot more west than south, but y'all start making your way towards it. You do notice on your way through that the cart did not head towards Vandel. It actually branched off over to the southeast, which y'all would know is my map. Fanavis. It'd be off towards that way. Fanavis is basically smack dab straight east of Vandel. So it's like both in middle of the continent. But yeah, so you notice those tracks falling off that way, and you continue on towards Vandel. Right about actually where you see the path split for there is where it begins to grow dark. So would y'all like to try to get a little bit of extra distance in, or
How far away from Vandel at the split?
At the split, y'all are just about, I would say it's not quite a day from the split.
Okay.
I say we sleep here.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe a little ways off the path so we don't intrude upon any bandits in there.
Well, there are enough tracks for them to see us anyway.
That's
yeah,
true.
I agree.
That's true. We're in the snow. There's not really
I was about to say,
much
and at
happening.
this point, y'all did notice as y'all descended down the end of the Woven Pass, the snow grew thinner and thinner. Y'all are down to where it's still cold and chill, but the snow that covers most of where you're at is at this point fairly thin, just an inch or two of snow on the ground, just enough to kind of help with tracking and whatnot. Yeah.
Do we notice any
So
nice area to potentially set up a campsite that's kind of
go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead and make
for-
your perception check for that. We'll see if we can find things.
anyone else want to look as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
For
whoops.
a big
Oh,
place.
I don't need to.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
I'm looking, but in the opposite direction. 15.
Okay.
So
So
25 for survival.
as
Jeez.
y'all start looking around, you notice that a lot of this area is mostly it's hill type country as it goes away down and away from the mountains. Y'all are able to kind of find a spot towards the top of one of the hills that is not quite on the ridge. That is inset into the hill. So that way, y'all are able to kind of see still the path beneath you, and not really have to worry about sticking out along the ridge. It's mostly just a soft little divot in the hill type of thing that y'all are chilling in. And y'all go ahead and set up camp there. What would y'all like to do for watch?
I can keep first.
I'll take first as well.
I can take second.
I'll take second as well.
Okay. And then we'll have the last two, Fire and Ashlag, be third watch. Okay.
I will sit to the ground and begin to cast the hut.
Okay. So you go ahead and cast that hut, and
I'm gonna watch from inside the hut, I think.
okay.
You're going to want to be inside it for certain, because otherwise you won't be able to get in.
Okay. 10 minutes pass. The hut is created. Congrats. Y'all are the proud home of a new hut.
That is really the most handy spell
It is.
for nighttime.
So, is there anything that y'all need to get done before you bed down?
Oh,
There was one thing that I wanted to
so just to be clear, this is the next day after fighting the hag. It's not the same day.
Next day.
There was something, but I don't remember, so no.
As one of my features of an Outlander, it says I have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and I can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. Could I try and make a little rough map or sketch of the Woven Pass, and then mark on there the cave system, not like
Yeah.
the actual caves
Yeah.
themselves, but like in this general area was where we went to look for the basilisks, and then also the area where Dosk's family went off the path.
And I'm assuming that you'll want to kind of have that relative to where you spent the night with Dusk's family as well. So just kind of
Yes.
like the three main points of,
Mhm.
of where you know.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure to get you a rough-ish sketch of,
Okay.
of where you would find those. That way, so should you choose, you can find them yet again. But yeah.
Probably be worth it to add
Is there any other points of interest?
the mountain man's house.
Oh yes,
Yes, that's
but isn't that's quite a ways from the Woven Pass, isn't it?
yes, maybe just to mark where the path branches towards his house.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to do that as well.
Safe to say, like a general map of just your travels between Tyne and Vandel, and just kind of start getting
just some of the points of interest along the way.
Absolutely. And I can get you a copy of the map as well,
Okay.
that y'all can kind of mark on, so that way as you find things you can know whether or not you want to come back to them. Okay. But yeah, was there anything special to be done, or can we just go into our first watch?
I don't have anything. I'll
Okay.
look down.
Did we?
Evening.
We had the book, and we didn't understand the book.
I'm looking in the spells for that right now, but
Do you have comprehend languages?
I do not.
No, we called you, and you didn't have it.
Correct.
I
Unfortunately.
have tongues, not comprehend languages, which is different.
What is tongues
Someone
do?
can try to read it out loud. I understand spoken word.
What is the written? Do we know what the written language is?
I don't think we figured it out.
None of y'all recognized it. It looked like a bastardized version of Common.
Okay. So we don't recognize either the language nor the script, the characters.
Ashlag might have seen it once before. She might have recognized it as undercommon.
Okay.
I'll give that to her. We'll have her roll for it. Just a sec. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. She would have recognized it as undercommon. She probably ran across it once or twice in her time down in Thorndeep.
Do not speak that language.
Doesn't look like halfling to me.
And one of the things that they did note was that there seemed to be a definite pattern to what was being written in it. The notes that seemed to be taken there were very meticulous and very very repetitive.
Probably poetry.
Was it written almost like, well, none of us speak under common, so we wouldn't know, but did it look like it was broken into fairly smallish chunks, almost like a diary, or more of like it was...
Like long paragraphs versus independent lines?
It was not written, as far as you can tell, in paragraphs. It was, everything seemed to be evenly spaced across and down.
So it wasn't like block, gap, block,
No.
gap, block.
Where
It was
did we
more
find this?
evenly?
This was in one of the. There were two, like, outposts. Little, just a really small box room with like a viewport place you could see out, and a door to get in. That was pretty much it. There wasn't a lot in
What
there.
was the view of?
Kind of like
The-
toll booths.
Yeah.
Oh,
But the view was the walkway to go down to
right.
Drowtown.
Drowtown.
It's got a name.
Do we happen to know if drow speak undercommon?
I don't know.
Nope.
Can I roll? for it?
Go. Yeah, I was about to say. Anyone who is curious, go ahead and we'll say
Five.
this will be a history or intelligence check. We'll do an intelligence check.
It's not going to be good.
Well, then in that case,
9.
5.
9.
9.
9?
9.
You got a 9?
I did.
9.
I'm not very smart.
Oh, that's 6.
Oh. Haha, you're dumber than I am.
None of y'all seem to recall. Y'all haven't met any drow, thank goodness. And on top of that, you really haven't looked into them much.
I'm pretty sure they just speak Drow.
That does make
I think
sense.
that's
That makes
what
sense. Maybe it's drowish.
Drowish, yeah. I believe that's the name for it. Yeah.
Dwarves speak dwarvish.
Mm-hmm.
Drow
Elves speak Elvish.
halflings speak halfling.
Ish.
No, I think it's just halfling. We're simple folk. We're not we're not Inish.
Cool.
Go. I was gonna say, go ahead and roll an intelligence check for Ashlag as well. Just Ashlag and Fire roll, because actually Fire wouldn't have seen him.
A 14 plus something or whatever, or minus
She's
something.
got a -1, I think.
13 then for Ashlog.
There are many things that speak undercommon. Drow are one of them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the Drow are the one who wrote this. They aren't.
Given the proximity to a giant drow city, I think it's probably safe to assume. But
Yeah.
probably doesn't matter much.
I don't wait. This might be metagaming, but is Undercommon the language of thieves? Is that the same thing?
That's
No.
thieves can't.
That's
Yeah.
thieves can't. Okay, that is there is
Thieves
something
can't.
different.
Thieves can't read.
Oh, they're illiterate.
I'm not illiterate. My parents were married.
That was exactly the quote that came to my mind too.
Good stuff.
I'm concerned.
We have one comment.
What does it say?
I show you.
Oh, I have so many mistakes, guys. I apologize for the internet and everyone who happens to be
What?
watching.
Interesting.
Chronic Ghost, I do not know who you are, but I hope you enjoy. I apologize just for everything.
Don't apologize. Just rock it.
Okay. So, first watch. Go ahead, roll your perception checks for your watch.
22.
I'll keep it. That's a 17.
17.
Are you on second? You're on first watch.
We're on first.
Yeah.
Who's on second?
both of them on.
What's on
first.
second?
As
Who?
First base. Who's on first?
As your watch progresses, you see several travelers through the night that seem to be heading towards Vandel,
Idiots.
seemingly in preparation. No one looks especially out of the ordinary. You see a couple of people on horseback, a couple people with carts. Other than that, the night seems to be cold and seems to go on without any sort of event.
That thing you did to, I don't remember what creature it was. Hold on. Let me see if I actually wrote down something.
It happened.
I highly doubt it.
Gentle repose.
No, not that.
Hold the same.
You spoke with something that was dead.
Oh, speak with that.
Oh, that one!
Is that
Right, the poison. The poison from Cusco.
poison that killed Cusco?
Am I discussed with the deceased?
Speak with recently deceased.
Yeah, it was to the troll.
Is that normal? Like, do you do that on the regular?
I mean, I don't do it on the regular, but I'm not afraid to do it if I feel it'll help.
Are you a necromancer?
It is a necromancy spell. You are correct about that.
I feel like he's giving me the side slam.
That wasn't the question. though.
No, I'm not a necromancer. I am very curious about all different types of spells. I'm curious about learning, and I stumbled across this one in my studies when I was serving under Helm, or not Helm, Agma.
Nice to know that you
It's been a long time.
It's nice to know that you two are still on speaking terms.
Well, we aren't. Which is why I do not serve Agma anymore. But that's when I came across Speak with Dead, and that's why I have it now.
Oh. Say someone has been dead for a long time. Is that something you can do still?
Yeah, as long as the body's intact and there's a mouth.
Hmm.
You're gonna take this letter closer.
I'm trying to stay out of the camera.
Do you have someone in mind you'd like me to do it on?
I don't know that I necessarily.
I'll tell you what.
Torn about whether I want
You
to.
think about it, get back to me if you want me to, and you can provide me the body, and
Well,
if I'm able to, I'd be happy to do it for you.
you said all you need is them to still have a mouth?
The body has to be intact, yeah. It can't be just like a couple bones.
It's supposed to be.
Speak with bones.
That's
They
called-
say rattle, rattle, rattle.
I think that's called augury, or how do you say that word?
Augury?
I mean, they can't be undead too if you're wanting specific.
No, they
that's
are. They are. It's
So you think
They
about
are-
it.
they
You
are-
get,
Speak with undead.
they are.
speak with undead.
Yo, man, what's up? How you doing?
You think about it. Get back to me.
I'd have to find their
I know.
bodies first. and dig them up.
Don't
So-
remember where you put them.
Well, I didn't actually. I wasn't the one that buried them. Anyway.
Ooh, backstory.
He killed them all.
As far as necromancy goes, you don't need to worry. I think this is the only one that I know.
You think that's comforting?
Well, I've come across a lot. I wouldn't hesitate to learn another one if I came
I think
across
Spare the
one.
Dying
that
is a
I'm
necromancy spell.
This is the this is one or two that I know.
Technically, but yeah, it's a
that confuses
necro
me.
entry.
I feel like that should be a necromancy. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why
Okay.
it's
Is
allowed
it?
in. It is necromancy, and that's
Okay.
that's why Melissa didn't mind allowing that one, is because it is like
It's non-traditional necromancy.
It's-
You're
it's
raising
not like-
someone before they die.
Yeah, it's
We have
basically
good
instead of
necromancy.
bringing someone back,
Yeah,
it's
you're saving
stabilizing
them.
them. So
Yeah.
that one is less seen as necromancy and more seen as, oh, I'm making sure people don't die.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Preventative necromancy.
preventative necromancy.
It's
Precisely.
really hard to raise a family. Not if they're super close
Yeah.
together. What?
I will say, I've lost people close to me, and I'd like to prevent that happening to other people. And so, Speak with Dead will help prevent deaths.
Did you speak to
I
your
like
dead
that.
relatives?
I have not done that, and I don't have. That's not a bad idea.
I don't know. It sounds like a very terrible idea to me. I haven't made up my mind.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Your watch comes to an end.
Make sure he's not a necro.
Y'all go ahead and wake up watch number 2.
Hello, watch number 2. It's your turn to watch.
Right, I'm awake.
2 of you.
Okay. Y'all go ahead, roll your perception.
14.
10. So 11, maybe. Yeah, 11.
Okay. Night is dark. You'll see one lone lantern traveling across the road that seems to be heading towards Vandel. Other than that, the road seems fairly vacant. Other than that,
You die.
y'all do not.
Rocks die. Everyone falls.
Don't encourage him, Caleb.
Actually, where would y'all be? Y'all would be there. Okay. Let's see here.
We're just on the edge of the Woven Pass.
Not.
Just got out of it.
I was gonna say not quite the edge of the Woven Pass. Y'all would have traveled just a bit east to reach where the branch comes off from. I hate it. I hate that. Y'all do hear the faintest cry that seems to be coming from the mountains to your east, not south towards Mandel. I'm sorry, west. It would be
When
west.
you say cry, like a yell, like a howl, like child
Like-
calling.
I'm sorry, closer to a roar. That seems to have echoed through the mountains. So it still seems far away, but still very much heard.
And it's coming from the east.
From the I was mistaken. It is coming from the west towards the mountains, but also towards Vandel.
The direction we're headed.
Yes.
Okay. You could go investigate that if you'd like, but I'm going to stay here.
It sounded really far away and not worth it.
I agree.
Okay. Other than that, your watch ends without much to do.
Fantastic.
We're super chatty during our night watches.
Long rest.
Yep.
Complete.
Long rest complete. I'm gonna go ahead and assume. Yeah, they're good.
Do we level up?
No.
But we
I am gonna go
No,
ahead and assume that.
I'm gonna do it.
I guess
Uh-oh.
Ashlag would probably use her sharpening stone in the morning.
Tongues.
She doesn't run out of
Can you not
uses of it, does she?
As far as she
Thought I
can tell,
could-
Like,
no.
there's no
Tongues.
downside to her using
No.
it. Then yeah, I would imagine she probably would.
So I
Imagine
will
anyone.
I will
barbarian might
imagine,
would do that.
that we'll just assume that that is the case, and if it is needed, it just happened.
It is long.
Okay. You'll awaken to the early morning. The snow still now iced over on the ground as you exit your hut. The ice beneath your feet is crunching into the grass. It is a cool, crisp morning as you make your way back down to the path that leads to Vandel. The road towards Vandel looks fairly well traveled. As you get to the actual road, you see many cart marks, many hoof marks from what seems to be different travelers heading towards Vendel, which y'all had all seen to some extent during the night. But yeah, other than that, I'm guessing that we're going to keep a very similar order to the day before for traveling.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and do one more investigation. I'm sorry, one more perception check as y'all go forward. As y'all near Vandel. 9.
Oh, 20.
Okay. As you begin to move towards Vendel, you keep an eye out along the horizon, and just a generic eye out across the countryside. You notice what looks to be a group of horses that is roaming around down south of you guys. They are down in the valley beneath you, and they just seem to be running back to the east.
Saddled.
They are not saddled. They appear to be wild.
Shall we just continue on?
So as y'all continue on, the rest of your trip to Vandel is uneventful until about an hour out. You start to notice not quite a backup, but considerably more people along the road. They're definitely. It's definitely beginning to become very apparent that this event is growing closer and closer as it seems like many people have come from different portions throughout the actual continent, as you hear many different dialects, many different accents. Most of them very grumpy, very agitated from the rather absurdly cold winter this year, and it seems like there are more people here than last time.
Do they appear to be common folk, or
Many of them seem to be many of the ones that you at least hear complaining are wearing very common clothing, nothing super fancy. A couple of the ones that you see on horses seem to be wearing somewhat nicer clothing, but you do not see necessarily anyone well-to-do along the road with you. But yeah, as you begin your trek to the actual walls of Vandel, y'all are met by a familiar sight of a more or less checkpoint of just guards at the actual wall, making sure that everything is kosher. You're not bringing anything in that necessarily shouldn't come in. Is there anything that y'all would like to do before entering the city?
Is there anything we need to hide?
I don't think we've picked up anything.
Hey guys, so
Oh no.
Yeah, don't pull it out.
pull what out?
Never mind.
I was just gonna say, they aren't my biggest fan from last time.
Could see how that could be the case.
So, I'll just kind of, let's see, am I wearing a hood? I'm wearing a hood. I'll just, he throws his hood over. He's like, okay, I'm good to go.
Yep.
If you
Look
would
good.
like,
Can you disguise yourself?
camp on the outskirts of the city, and then we could meet up with you after the ceremony. They're not expecting you because you weren't part of our party when we last met with the king. If you'd like. Would be-
I mean, I don't mind going into the city. I mean, I like the city just fine. I still
Go
have
ahead.
things that I need to buy. I mean, last time I was in here, I didn't even get to purchase anything.
There were complications, that's for sure.
Yeah, complications, definitely. But I mean, I'm with you guys now, so they should be okay with it.
Unfortunately,
happy
that's
with
the
us.
current plan.
I think so, yeah. They like us all right, I suppose.
They have to. We're embarrassers.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just go ahead and assume
We're just going through the checkpoint.
going through the checkpoint.
We've got another day before the hunt
Uh,
starts.
Yeah, y'all have about a day. Yeah, y'all have one more day before anything is going to be happening.
So the ceremony is not tomorrow.
The ceremony is not tomorrow. You have one more full day before you have to worry about it.
One full day, then the ceremony. Okay. So what do we need to do in our downtime? We need to get supplies. Do we need to get any winter clothing for where we're headed to next? Because you said that you had somewhere that you wanted to go, correct?
Correct.
Um,
That would be written somewhere.
That's south, right? So
I
winter
believe
clothing
so.
might not be as necessary.
I don't know what the climate is like. Did I see any snow when I had my vision?
At the time that you looked down there was no snow.
And if that's south, that's probably going towards warmer areas, potentially. But as far as the dragon goes, that's up in the mountains.
It's in the mountains to the south.
That's in north.
Should be in the mountains to the north.
What is
Okay.
the dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, so we probably will want to
The-
get
The
maybe some winter clothes, perhaps.
I believe it's the Mork Mountains. I'll have to double check the name. The Mork Mountain.
My notes just say
range
kill dragons
spans-
in mountain.
The Mork Mountain range spans from one end of the continent and goes almost all the way over to the east. But there is a relief over there where there is coastal area.
So potentially winter clothes, supplies, research on the dragon. Is there anything else that we need to get done?
As a group, no.
It would be lovely if we could find some way of earning a little bit of capital.
Speaking of which, what are we planning on doing with the money we found in the cave?
How much money we found in the cave?
Wasn't it 300 or not?
It wasn't 3.
You guys found 300 gold?
I
Holy
thought you
cow.
said
6.
That's what you said before. You said you found
It might
like
have
6
been.
gold.
What? I think it was more than 6. Was it only 6
Thankfully, we
gold?
recorded it. It might be. I have 380 right now, so it might have been 300. And
I
50
can look it
silver.
up afterward. I can technically look it
I
up.
mean, I was planning on splitting it evenly, but we're in a little bit of a rush.
The reason I ask is because with a measure of
Shopping.
finances, I would be able to learn the spell that you were requesting yesterday.
I mean,
Oh,
how much
comprehend languages.
how much finances?
I would expect, based on what I learned when we were speaking to whoever that man was,
50 gold per spell level.
the cost of buying a scroll from him would be around probably 75 gold. It would take me about 50 gold to convert it into a form I could make use of.
So 75 plus 50.
I mean, is it something we want permanently, or do we want to just go ask somebody that might know the language or the spell to cast it?
It could
If
be a
we're
handy spell
going-
to have.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, if we're going to do research, I assume that we would be going to the Temple of Agma, in which case they're like super knowledgey, right? And they might be able to.
But once again, it could be handy to have this at our disposal as we're, like if we find ourselves down in those caves again.
That's true. That's true.
I don't expect the party to fund my own personal furtherment,
I would be,
but it could come in handy.
I would be happy to give you my share as people have donated to my materials in the past. So.
I don't have much, but I'd be willing to chip in a bit. I feel like that would be very helpful for the betterment of the party.
In that case, then I would suggest that we perhaps should try and find an establishment that might sell that sort of wares.
Is there anything that we have that we could sell that's of value?
I mean,
possess
whatever's in the bag. Of
very little.
Yeah, I don't have.
I got basically nothing. Got a potion of strength, some health potions, which I don't think we want to sell those, just in case.
Oh no, sell the health potions. It's a great idea, guys.
We don't
We
need those.
didn't get any like stipend from our benefactor, did we?
I believe our stipend was free lodging, free rooms.
Who do
Can
you
I-
consider your benefactor?
The king that we represent.
The King of Krumka.
I think we did get some money from
Y'all
the king.
did, and y'all spent it.
Would it be safe?
He must have not given
Would
us
it be
that much.
safe to stay in the same place we stayed at last time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
dragons know where we are, but
Okay. Can I ask the DM a question?
Yeah.
How similar? Actually, I don't think this has to be a DM question.
I'd also like to.
If I look at the book,
Mhm.
the not the language itself, but like the do I recognize any of the letters or symbols that they're using?
like the characters.
Yeah, the characters. Like, are they completely different between languages? Is going to be my DM question.
I am not knowledgeable enough in Undercommon to speak to that, so I'm just going to make an executive ruling and say, I believe it has its own alphabet,
Okay.
and so you like some of the characters do look similar, but none of them look like ones that you were like, oh yeah, this is definitely using this alphabet.
Okay.
That is, at least from what I remember, the extent of whenever I looked up Undercommon, which I did. It's just been a second. Okay. So y'all are going to stay in the same place, which I believe was the king's.
I got it. So where?
Yeah, I got it.
You're on King's Gambit.
King's Gambit. That's right. So y'all return to the King's Gambit. Y'all do find sitting. Y'all make it into the city fine. The way to the King's Gambit is still very easy for y'all to remember. As you make your way through the city, y'all do notice preparations going up. You see, in order to get to the King's Gambit, you would have had to go more or less towards the center, not quite castle, the large mansion that houses the king, and around it, around that wall that he has around the city center of the city, you see booths set up. Most of them, various states of setup. They're not quite all prepared, but you do see several just pop up little booths for. Some of them seem to be games. Some of them seem to be setting up different wares, potentially for incoming adventurers. City is changed a little bit since y'all left and have come back. But y'all make your way up to the King's Gambit, and as y'all begin to make your way inside, you do see a semi-familiar face sitting at one of the tables, beer in hand. As he glances over, I'm going to need help because I do not recall what her name is.
Or
K.
Huh?
K is the Black Dragonborn.
Nope.
Ashla.
What is Oshlog's pseudonym?
Moira.
Moira.
Mora.
More.
Mora.
Amora.
Mora.
I was like, I know it's similar to Amore.
Mora. Mora.
Mora.
Oh, I'd have that spelled wrong. What is it? Just Mora.
Yeah.
Mora. Whoops. I had an I in there.
I appreciate it because I know I have it somewhere, but I did not want to have to look that up. As he goes,
Mora.
Mora, it's been getting a little bit boring without another dwarf around. Glad to see that you're back. And as y'all look over,
Excuse me, do we know you?
it is Horag from Thronduke, which Mora had seen before and seems to be
That's not the guy that you stabbed with the crossbow.
the reason that she is using her fake name.
right. Person she doesn't want to recognize her.
Oh, Mora, why don't you come over for a drink?
Oh, I'd love to drink.
My name's not Mora, but I would be happy to join you.
What time of day
You're a
is it?
dwarf.
It is.
Yeah.
You traveled for the majority of the day. It is evening time. The sun has not quite set, but it is getting towards time to eat. My bones have been getting a bit stiff, if you may, waiting for an entire week for this thing to start up.
Yup.
Y'all have any leads?
Nothing super promising.
How do you feel about hunting drow?
Or orcs.
Hate them. Hate them. They don't get along with us, and I don't get along with them.
For a little price, I might be able to give you some information regarding drow.
Oh, really?
He's not going to pay you for that.
You gonna pay for that? Oi.
I might be interested. So we talking a couple heads? We talking like
Heads, you got leads, and information for information.
What are you trying
I
to
don't
do?
What should I be trying to barter?
Just get gold from him. We don't.
Hey, we desperately need money. Oh man, what should I trade him for?
Because as soon as he knows what our
information for
information is, he's not going to give us anything.
I'm gonna assume that's an aside that y'all had.
Yeah, we just kind of like quietly
Like
slapped. Aldrich was like,
information
money.
for information as Chris grabs.
What information
Don't
do we have?
need information.
We want money.
I mean,
Cold
it's
hard.
your business entrepreneurship. You are welcome to ask for whatever you wish.
I tell you what. I can tell you what I've heard about there being potentially a small hut down south of here that I passed on the way up. And if I tell you about that, how about you tell me where you found them drow?
Sure.
I'll hold you to your.
This is the part where you tell him about the drow.
You want me to speak first?
I don't mind speaking first, but if I find out that you're a liar,
What? Why don't you just both go on the count of 3?
Just
Sounds like a
just,
good idea.
Just blurt it out simultaneously. He's good for his word. He's a cleric.
I am a cleric. You can trust me.
I don't know much
I
about
don't
godly
trust that he's
folk.
going to be happy with what we actually tell him, but what we tell him will be truthful.
I don't much care for godly folk, but I can tell you,
He's not super good.
I do have ways of finding people that I need found.
Why don't I give you the information first?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm gonna get a round of drinks first. Make him a little happier.
Sober.
Okay,
Me too.
just what I need. Another one for the house. Thank you.
Another one for the house?
Yep.
Wow.
How many have you had?
You know, I've had a couple.
He must be rich.
Do I see a coin purse on his waist?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
9.
He does, in fact, have a small coin purse that seems to be tucked.
A small coin purse.
Yeah, a small coin purse. It is not
It's
much.
not worth it.
Kill him for 5 gold.
I do love the brew here. I feel like it's changed here recently, but ain't bad.
We stumbled across in the cave system in the Woven Pass.
There's a lot of caves in the Woven Pass.
So you take the Woven Pass, and there's this big sinkhole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have an idea. We happen to have a ranger who marked it on a map.
Oh, we have
Might
a
be
map of
little
this.
bit easier.
I mean,
Hey,
I
Ranger,
wasn't.
hey, Ranger.
I wasn't sharing. I wasn't sharing that I had a map.
I saw you sitting there going.
At night.
So to be honest, I did draw a rough map of it.
Oh, he did. Oh, so
My character's map would not be legible.
I mean, if we can describe it to him.
Yeah. So there's you know the sinkhole I'm talking about. There's a big sinkhole.
I think I've seen it.
Bottom of the sinkhole is an
Seen it.
entire drow city.
I might have to go visit sometime. I have a couple of pets that might enjoy getting out off the leash.
If you're looking to kill a few of them without invading the entire city, they do occasionally come in and out through the caves around there.
I appreciate it.
Might be a little bit easier to pick them off one at a time.
Well,
whole city.
I do.
They also do have pet basilisks.
Speaking of leash, I would be a little careful.
Be very
Those seemed to be, for the most part, in the heart of the city. We didn't see many of them roaming the caves.
But they appear to be domesticated.
They do have them.
Good to know. Drowhide seems to fetch a nice price, especially among my friends.
Good thing you're not
Well-
Drow this time. He could sell you again.
It doesn't matter what campaign you're in, Steven, your skin's worth money.
I am an honest man, if nothing else.
How much, just out of curiosity, did you say how much drow skin is worth?
Well, if you know the right people, I would say that you could probably fetch about 50 gold a head.
Hear that?
When you say a head, do you mean for just the skin on the head?
No, I mean,
Just making sure.
yeah,
Like the actual head.
no.
So, considering we don't know the people, but we do know you, if hypothetically we were to collect them, would you be willing to buy them from us at a reduced price to sell to the people that you do know?
Less work, still profit.
And more dead drow.
I could consider it. And considering I don't fancy myself a statue, I might enjoy having them brought to me already disposed of.
Genocide.
Is wiping out an
We
entire
don't
city
have any
genocide?
at the moment,
I don't
but
think so.
we'll keep my options and prospects open.
I tell you what, if you happen to find them, and we have a prosperous business relationship filled with mutual trust, I might happen to stumble across some contacts that I might be able to introduce you to if you happen to like that kind of work.
We'll certainly keep it in our forethought.
Yeah, the man I work for is fairly well off and well known down south.
Where can we find you where do you hang around in the city?
I'm actually just up here for the hunt right now, but if you look down south in Thronduke, you can look me up. I'm typically hanging out. There's a nobleman down there by the name of Ogax.
Oh, Gax.
Oh shoot!
I'm sure I
Void
spelled that.
of
perfect.
What did Ashlug's
Yeah.
face do when
What is?
that
Yeah,
was
so
mentioned?
as in I'm finding this
Do we
information out.
do
so
we
we can
catch what
avoid
this
them.
guy's name is?
Horak.
Alright.
Name's Horak.
Because Ashland does
And-
not like him.
I think I can fairly confidently speak for Melissa. I don't know. Maybe we ask her later what her face would have done.
I am aware, I feel like she does not want us to be friends with him.
She did say that
Yeah,
she was
she-
okay with
she
going to Thronduke.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I say maybe she looks mildly uncomfortable hanging around Thorag for as long as we have, but yes, fair is fair. Told you that I had information for you. On my way up, I happened to stumble across a learned man's cabin. Not necessarily my cup of tea. I didn't happen to find much there, but I don't know if you like books and whatnot. There seem to be an entire wall of them.
Down
And-
south, you say?
Yeah, down south. It's actually. 1 second.
This doesn't sound like the Mountain Man's hut, does it?
No, that's the other direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
this would be
Well, not the other
And
direction,
this would be
A different direction.
near the. Actually, it's actually down near where Thronduke, Vandel, and Fanavis all intersect.
slightly off the path down there.
I'm not particularly familiar with this area. Is that anywhere near Zaven?
Oh, it's I mean, Zaven's down there. It's a little bit over to the east of Zaven, but I mean, it's the same general area.
Okay.
But like I said, it lots of books. It looked like it had been turned over a little bit, but I mean, you look like the learned type. You might enjoy such a thing.
I do read on occasion.
I think I recall seeing a
Take out
fancy
my-
book like
My empty warlock tome because it doesn't look like anything to anyone else and just page through empty pages and close it.
I do think I saw a book like that down there. It's hard to tell.
How far from here was it?
Oh, it was about 2 days travel until you reach down near the intersection down there.
I was only half paying
Uh,
attention. Did he give us like specific enough instruction that like
He said the intersection of Throndu, Fendel, and some other city, and it's a little off the path.
Travis, and
Okay.
it's on. Those are he would have been referring to the 3 countries where they intersect.
okay, so where the borders come together.
He said a little ways off the road.
You would have. There wasn't a sign or nothing. It just so happened that I saw some smoke coming up from the cabin over there. Didn't seem like anyone had lived there for a bit. But yeah,
Well,
fair is fair.
You said you hunt with pets. Do you hunt alone other than that? Or do you have a party with you as well?
I don't need any other party. It's just me and the boys.
Might I be so bold as to inquire, what kind of pets do you have?
boys.
They're just his sons. He keeps them on a leash. They're tied out front.
Crack open the cold one with the boys.
You asking lots of questions.
I'm a
Why don't
curious
you-
person, but I don't mind if you don't feel like sharing.
Why don't you go ahead and roll a persuasion check?
Yes, something I can do. Get out of here, crappy dice. Bugger, that jumped from 17 to 7. Persuasion is actually not what I'm good at.
Oh,
So
really?
10. No, it's deception and intimidation that I'm good at.
I don't know. +3 is still pretty good.
I tell you what. Come find me once the hunt starts, and I have no problem showing you.
Come alone, come unarmed.
It's a big country, but I will make an effort.
Come slathered in barbecue sauce.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be a part of the actual celebration, I'm sure we'll run into one another.
Fair enough. This is the first time I've participated, so not particularly familiar.
Well, I would recommend that y'all enjoy yourselves. There's good food, good beer, some fun games. If you're looking to maybe waste
Got
some money.
bocce ball, cornhole, lawn darts.
Ski ball.
Dangerous.
Well, I do appreciate the drinks, good sirs. Madam, I think I'm going to go ahead and retire for the evening.
Always nice to meet another dwarf.
It is. Are you from Thonduk?
I don't know why.
I never knew my
I don't think I am.
I was about to say,
Cue
I think
tragic
we established
backstory.
that you're from Werpack.
Where-
Which would have been slightly to the west. It's the country over to the west. So
To the west
basically,
of
there
Hamburg.
are 3 countries that line the top, 2 countries, and then Throndu, Zavin, and below Zavin is Werpack.
Okay. Yeah, I'm from a mining village. I have big city.
Aldrich's from
Yeah.
the city of Redacted.
I burned it down.
I was about to say, I'm fairly certain I have a marker on here for where you're from. So
Oh.
just, I promise I will get there and send it to you. I just can't do it yet. But yeah. Yeah. Well, y'all have a good night. And
Well, you too.
he'll go ahead and
retire up to his room. But yeah, y'all are now down there just by yourself.
I'm gonna wander off to a corner and spend the remainder of the evening working on turning my poison glands into one poison and 3 antidotes, if I can. Is that how that works?
Yep, you can do that.
Can I see if we have a tail? I mean, I have a tail, but
I don't have a tail.
can
I
we
have a
see if
tail.
our party has a tail?
I have a tail.
Go
You're a
ahead
monkey.
and roll a perception check. Are you
Oh,
Are
you
you-
mean like someone tailing us? I
Are
was
you-
really confused.
looking around just in the actual
he's
in
just tailless.
I
the
thought you meant like a story.
in the
Like yeah, we have
it's not a lobby, but I can't think of the
the
word.
tail of a lollipop.
Like in the current
Foyer.
room that you're in, or are you gonna actually look out?
I'm
and-
gonna look around in the room and then go outside and kind of just look and see if I see any kind of tailish activity. $11.
Yeah, we definitely don't have a tail.
I've been rolling so average today. It's annoying.
As you look around the room, you actually do not notice many other people in the room that you're currently in. You see what appears to be a modest looking elf that is chilling over at one of the tables by herself, and then you also see the barkeep. By barkeep I mean innkeep, whatever she is.
Okay.
No one inside, outside, just people passing by. No one seems to be sticking out terribly.
I would like to go out into the city.
Okay. Where would you like to go?
I'm going to wander around a bit and I'm going to look for dark corners and people that are wandering on their own. Because I am impatient. Particularly anyone that looked like they might be particularly affluent.
Evil campaign. Here we go.
I thought I was the dark one.
Okay.
I'm looking for merchants and nobles. Someone looks like they
Rich fat
have
women.
the burden of financial gain.
Okay. You would happen to know that the area that you're in is going to be the best chance of that, based on your travels through the city so far. So why don't you go ahead and we'll roll an investigation check.
Neat. +0. Are you sure it wouldn't be like intimidation?
To find someone?
Come out, you rich people! Fight me. So that's a 9. You know what? I'm going to use luck.
Yeah.
Neat. That's a 4. So 9.
Cut 4 twice.
I rolled
No.
a 9 the
Oh,
first time and
okay.
a 4 the second time.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I'm sticking with the 9.
Okay. You look around. With the night getting darker, most of the particularly affluent people have retired for the evening. You do notice that there are people that seem to be walking around. The coin purses do not look particularly heavy from what you've seen before, but if you so wish to chance.
Having a little bit of background interacting with Thieves Guild, would I be able to make like a reasonable assumption just of like a range of,
How much gold?
yeah, just like 0 to 10, 10 to 50, 50 to 100, something.
You see a coin purse that is at least large enough to hold about 30 gold. And a particularly flush individual that seems to be attempting to find his way home.
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay. He is making his way. He is making his way towards the outer wall in the northern portion of town. The guards look like they have become at least a little bit more lax, considering the number of people that they're having to currently deal with. So it would not be particularly difficult to find a portion of this man's walk that is relatively.
Is the bulk of the road lighted by lanterns, or are there stretches of dark street?
The roads themselves, as they twist and turn within the city, I was about to say, I don't know how much you recall of the actual structure of the city. It is a circle in the center, and then basically spirals out.
Right.
As you make your way out towards the tips and to the actual wall portion of it, so like the outer extremities where there seems to be houses placed up against the wall for this northern portion.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to still be lit, but go ahead and roll a perception real quick as he's making his way towards one of these houses.
17, 18.
Okay. As he stumbles along to try and find his keys, you're kind of looking around. There doesn't seem to be anyone that you see up on top of the wall. You look down the street. You see one other fellow that seems to be walking into his house currently. But other than that, the streets look relatively bare. The night is dark, so you are currently operating by whatever the torchlight is that is currently illuminating, which is enough to see, but it's not like every area is particularly bright.
I'm gonna walk past him.
Okay.
And then past the next building, cut back, and then double back stealthily.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
2. So 7.
Holy cow.
So you turn down into an alley between a couple of the houses that you see, and then you stumble across what seems to be the trash cans left outside, and you try and catch them as you bump into them, and the lid just kind of and rattles and kind of peek out and around and like, hey, you gonna pick that up?
Right, sorry, I had a few too many to drink, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yep.
Is this the guy that I was following?
Yep.
Okay.
I know that guy, and he doesn't like his things being messed with.
Right, that makes sense. Me neither, really.
Okay. And he goes to take his keys out and kind of drops them a bit as he's trying to enter his house.
Is there ground floor windows?
Yeah, he does. He does in fact have ground floor windows, and they all seem to be closed currently, latched shut. But
Peek in one.
Yeah, you see him go inside his house, lock the door behind him, as you're peeking through, go ahead and make another perception check. And I'm guessing you're wanting to try and still be stealthy.
Yeah.
So
So that's a 10 for perception.
go ahead and
Another
roll
stealth check. And ditch that crappy dice. That's better. 22.
22. So as you peer in through the window, you see what seems to be a fairly man who's fairly affluent, as you should have called. He has the absolute most gaudy furniture and decor that you have ever seen. He has like this gigantic bearskin rug that seems to be at the middle of this living room that you're looking at on. The actual couch that you see placed over the rug is large, plush, and has like not fins. That's not what I'm quite thinking of, but like high back, very plush armchair.
Right.
You look over top of the mantle. You
Taking that
see
chair.
over top of the mantle. You see several heads of exotic creatures that.
What kind of
I was
creatures?
to say, go ahead and make an intelligence
Oh,
check.
balls.
I was about to say intelligence or nature. Take your pick.
Well, so it's either a +0 or a +0. So 6.
So one of the animals seems to be. One of the animals is definitely. Trying to think, like horse-like in nature. It doesn't quite look like a normal horse, but it has very long face and has two horns coming out the side of its head. Not quite sure what that one is. You do see what appears to be the head of a lion. That also is above the mantelpiece.
Lions are easy to recognize.
Yeah.
Are there any like family portraits or any indication that I can tell that there is a likelihood of other residents in here? Children's toys or like
You do not see
women's
children's
overcoat.
toys. You do not see any pictures of him. You do see what appears to be the picture of a much older gentleman that is also hanging beside the mantle.
Okay. Is he still? I'm guessing he left the room.
He walked into the room and like discarded most of his cloak and just kind of like plopped down on the couch and seems to be relaxing there.
I am going to Does it look like he's like sleeping or just
He's
he's like laying on his back humming to himself kind of thing?
Yeah, he's laying on his back humming. Some sort of drunk ditty. There seems to be a little bit of rhythm and tune to it, but the words are utter nonsense from what you can hear, even just through the glass. But
What is the room lit with, if anything?
the room is lit by fire going currently in the actual fireplace, and then you see torches at the entrance of the room, and then a couple spread along the walls.
How many?
About 6 of them that you can see.
I'm going to use thaumaturgy to make the sound of a not unnaturally strong wind, but a bit of a rushing wind come from over by the fireplace, and then cast control flames and extinguish the fireplace.
Since Josh isn't here, you should kill his character.
Don't worry, Chris has thought about it.
Daily.
Probably really easy. You can't roll anything.
Okay. Okay. Light goes out. Guy kind of. This is gonna be fun.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought this was going to go faster, but I'm being very cautious because of where we are.
The man kind of rolls over. I'll deal with it in the morning, and just kind of rolls back over. I will say, for the expedition of things, are you looking to make a move now, or are you going to try and be patient and do this like over time?
I was going to do this over time and extinguish all of his torches.
So after waiting for about 15 or so minutes, he seems to just conk out.
Okay. I will use control flames and douse the rest of them, and then I will attempt to unlock the window.
Okay,
To
go
open it.
ahead and roll to unlock the window.
That would be
Are you proficient with?
thieves' tools.
Okay.
So it would be plus dex and plus proficiency.
Yeah.
17.
Okay. With that, lock dislatches and the window slowly slides open.
I will slowly work my way in. Did he discard his coin purse, or is that still on his
He
person?
is still fully dressed.
Okay.
This man was very intoxicated and very just very ready to just conk out. And,
What is the level of light in the house now with the torches
it
and
is
everything up?
dim light. The only light coming in would be from the window that you just came in and the entrance to the actual
There are curtains over either of those that I could reduce this from dim light to no light?
yeah, you can definitely pull
Okay.
the curtains too, and it covers light from there, and then you have a small amount of light coming in through the hallway.
Bookshelf. Any books?
You look around, you do not see books, but you do see shelves filled with trophies.
Not much the reading type. Man, I wish I had detect magic. That would be handy. All right. I'm going to try and is there any like a bureau or a desk or something that he might have? I'll say this. I'll just make I'm looking for valuables.
Go ahead and make an investigation check as you kind of take a look through the room.
Gosh darn it. 6.
Okay, so you
2, 4.
Got 3 looks.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one more. 18. Investigation is plus 0, so 18.
okay. So with an 18, you do find a desk.
Would I have not seen the desk with
No.
the 6?
No, you would have seen the desk.
Okay.
So as you look through the desk, you see opened on top of the desk is one single book. This book, as you flip through, seems to be an index of sorts of different creatures and things that happen to be valuable from them.
I pocket that straight away.
Okay. As you look through the rest of the actual desk, you do see what appears to be about
10 copper pieces and about 5 silver pieces, just in change in various drawers.
I'll leave them.
Other than that, you don't happen to find much of worth. You do notice as you inspect the book that you pick up that it does have the seal of the king on it.
It's fine. It's probably fine.
Okay.
This is definitely not going to bite us later. I love it.
As you look through the rest of the room, you do not see much. Most of it seems to be either taxidermied
Right.
creatures or
Oh, is that what you meant by trophies? Taxidermy creatures.
well,
No, it's Solana.
well,
Gotcha,
there are taxidermy creatures and what appear to be trophies accompanying them.
Made of valuable materials.
Made of some kind of metal. I mean, most of them are as you look through them. Most of them seem to be identifying. You see marked on said trophies is year, name, and creature. Year, name, creature. Year, name, creature. Next to all of these.
Well, how about this? Can I read them off to myself and write them? Can you read them off to me so I can write them down?
Yes, I can.
If you don't have this on hand, I don't mind if you do this later. But
Okay,
I want you to know
Yes.
that I am recording or would like to record.
I was about to say I will physically make a note of it right now that
Okay.
I will give you a couple of different ones.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do they say like place or like first place or second place or runner up or anything like that, or just year, name, creature?
Just year, name, and
Okay.
creature. And there seems to only be one per year that you would have noticed.
Okay. All right.
Are they pretty consistent? Year-wise?
What do you mean pretty like year wise, like 1 year apart?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're each 1 year apart.
Hmm.
And most of the ones that you see are from the past
Like recent.
recent
Okay.
years.
All right. I would like to check the pockets of the cloak that he discarded for
You
anything.
Yeah, go ahead, roll one more investigation check as you rummage through his
10.
with the 10, you do notice that the pouch of gold was attached to the cloak and not necessarily to his belt.
I will use the tip of my pocket knife and pick away at a strand in the fabric of the pouch and then unravel it a little bit. So it makes it, I kind of want to make it look like a snag
Go
that
ahead
stretched
and,
into a hole.
Roll a dex check for that.
Boy. 20 total,
Okay.
not natural.
You kind of you're toying with one of the threads to try and give just a little itty bitty tear. You get that tear going and you just kind of start widening it. It looks fairly convincing.
I will empty it into my hand through
Okay.
the hole, with the exception of 2 gold.
Okay. So you now have 28 gold.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't do math. Guys, I'm so rich. I can almost afford to buy one thing.
You have some money. It's just all in my pockets because I don't know how exactly how much is.
I am going to
Steal his chair.
how many pages was this book that I picked up full?
It is a very large book. It is an index of, and you do see marked in there. There are tabs, and as you look through these tabs, you do see a tab and you look up and you see what appears to be one of the trophies is a fairy dragon.
Interesting.
You see that there's a tab marked where the fairy dragon is. You see another tab, you flip it over, and there's a griffin tag. And you look around, there's a griffin.
I'm going to. Is there any chance that I remember what page this book was on when I picked it up?
Roll an intelligence check.
I was afraid you were going to say that. 12.
It seemed to be open about halfway through.
Okay, I'll set it down at about where it was, as close as I can remember.
Okay.
And I want to page to each of those that corresponds to. Oh, you mean the trophies, not the animals, not the taxidermied.
And like I said, the trophies are next to the taxidermied animals, and so kind of marking which one.
I would like to page through and see if any of them have prices listed for teeth of the animals that he has taxidermied there.
So Griffin would have teeth as a gold amount on it.
Does it specify like front canine's teeth or like the back teeth?
It doesn't seem to. It just.
I was gonna say I was thinking of the ones that have the beak as well, but I don't. Oh no, Sphinx is the lion, isn't that?
Oh wait,
Is
I think griffins have a beak.
Griffins have a beak. Griffin is
Okay.
head of an eagle. You're right.
Yeah.
Body of a lion. I'm sorry.
Wait.
So feathers for griffin.
Feathers for Griffin. I mistook my mythical beast.
Nope,
I
you're fine.
apologize. Yeah. Yeah. For that one, it would have been feathers. Let me.
I'm trying to gauge if I can learn from the book
Which creatures?
if
we
there's
want.
anything from these taxidermic samples that I could pilfer that's small enough, like if I pluck a couple feathers off the griffin head or pull a tooth out from the back, I don't want to take like the main fangs that are very prominent and obvious.
Obviously.
That's what I'm looking for, but I don't quite know how to
So.
express that to you.
Uh.
Something that
Yeah.
I could pilfer and then sell later.
That is fair. Yeah. So you notice for the fairy dragon, it is an amount per scale, which is typically relative to the size of whatever the fairy dragon happens to be. You happen to see one, and the fairy dragon that happened to be there was actually quite sizable for what you had seen. Oh, dang it! Not what you had seen because you weren't there. For what y'all had seen for the fairy dragon, but seems to be a sizable fairy dragon. The same goes for feathers for the griffin. Seem to be about gold per. You see for
How much was it for the dragon scales?
for the dragon scales, it was a gold per.
Okay. It's not really worth my trouble.
And then you see one for. I'm trying to think of what else would have been there. You see spider fangs, and those seem to be 5 silver a piece. And you look over, you see one particularly large spider. Other than that, I'll have to.
That's
I was gonna
fine.
say-
It's
I
not.
was
It's
gonna
not
say-
too much of an effort. Just if there was something where it's like, oh, hey, 20 gold for one of these teeth, or something like
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say I'll have to get back to you, and
Okay.
I will let you know. We'll
Okay.
Because that is actually something that I don't have fully fleshed out yet, but I will.
Right.
I will build that room real quick after tonight,
Okay.
and I'll get to you on what you could have taken reasonably.
Okay. Then I would like to pick up the book again, and he's sleeping on his back on the couch?
Yeah.
I would like to set it open on his chest as though he fell asleep reading it
Okay.
gently.
Noted.
And Does he have a pantry in the kitchen?
Yes, he has a pantry. What would you like in the pantry?
I want some sort of food. Dried meats? Any sort of dried meats?
He has dried meats out and about. Yeah,
I'll take
absolutely.
a little bit of dried meats.
Okay. You walk away with about 2 pounds of dried meats.
Meat.
Meat.
It's what's for dinner.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can filter off this bum. Did it seem like the house had a lot more to it? Like several other rooms, like a big kind of deal, or just an upstairs, or
It has, as you look, it seems to have a bathroom, very large stone marble-ish bath that seemed to be quite extravagant. It seemed to have another room as you look through it, just quick cursory. We'll go off of the same investigation check for the other thing. But you do notice several other doors that could potentially lead to other rooms. The house is a single story, and it looks like altogether there are about 5 rooms.
okay.
One of them appears to be his bedroom. One of them appears to be the bathroom. One of them appears to be the kitchen and pantry that you raided.
Mhm.
And then there's also the living room.
Okay.
And then there's.
And I'm guessing the investigation check for valuables included checking through those.
Yeah,
say?
and
okay.
we'll say that you probably would have seen in his bedroom there would have been a ring stand is what it would have been. You see a very very well crafted stone hands that seem to have rings just filled to the brim with them. Ones that look like they have precious stones. Ones that look like they have some sort of seal on them. One of them that you recognize does have the seal of the King of Bandel, which you would have recognized from
Right. The book.
the book.
You're robbing the king's son.
Yeah. Or
I
something.
better not take any of the rings. Dang it.
Who
Okay.
is this guy
I'm
that
gonna
he
go
has
back.
The king's seal.
I'm gonna go back into the main room, and I'm going to gently place 1 gold piece over between the doorway and the jacket, roughly.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go back out the window.
Okay.
And I guess like close it behind me, maybe not latch it, or I don't know that you can relock it with thieves' tools or whatever, but put it back
You can
as
certainly try.
I'm not going to make an effort to.
Okay.
And then I'm going to place another gold piece just off to the side of his front steps
Okay.
from the direction that he came from.
Sounds good.
And then I will go away from the house in the dark and then circle my way back.
Okay. Okay. So you make your way back over to the King's Gambit.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I didn't see any other rich looking people on my way back.
By the time that you rummage through this guy's house, most everyone else
I
looked
was
like they
afraid of
had
that.
basically made it back into theirs.
Oh well. All right.
Yeah, but you found something interesting. What were y'all doing in the meantime?
Sorry, guys, that
Nice
took longer. I
poison.
was just gonna slit his purse as he walked by, and it just didn't seem like it had good opportunity. And then
Although I should know, I don't think I can because what I want to make drinkable stuff, and I need a potion of healing for that. I don't have it. So,
I have a potion of healing.
I have 3 minor health potions.
I mean,
I have a regular
I was
one.
about to say you
I
should
mean,
be
if-
able to use that or
Are you-
holy water.
I forget. Are
do
you
I
trying
have
to?
holy water?
Are you trying to poison a potion?
I'm trying to make an anti-venom
Okay.
and 1 poison.
I could be wrong on that.
How does one do things?
Yeah.
How
that's the
things?
question.
Yeah, you're right about holy water, but I don't think I have any on me. So
Can't you just bluff it?
I was gonna say, as a cleric, can you make holy water?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I have to buy it in the store. But I don't know.
I was about to say, this is a mechanic I did not think of. He is in fact a cleric.
I'm sure that there's a D&D mechanic for making holy water. I just don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah. Does anyone else, while we figure that out?
I'll probably just be eating and drinking. And then
I almost Googled how to make holy water, and then I realized how to make holy water 5e is a better.
Yep. Yep.
How to make holy water. Step 1, kidnap your local priest.
A cleric or paladin may create holy water by performing a special ritual, which takes 1 hour to perform, uses 25 gold pieces worth of power, silver, and requires the caster to expend the first level spell slot.
oh, a what? A 4th level?
First.
Oh, I heard 4th.
That makes more. I heard 4th as
I
well.
was like,
Just
whoa.
It just says
holy
a
water
special
is
ritual.
really
Well,
big.
it's late, so I'll worry about that in the morning. Then. Is that taking an hour for that?
25 for your holy water isn't
Yeah,
bad.
let's say 25
Yeah.
gold pieces worth of powdered silver is going to be the.
You're gonna have to.
Equivalent.
I have-
Well, I was going to say no. That's what
It's a component.
Yeah, it's its component.
For the
Since-
spell?
For the ritual
for
to
the
make
ritual.
Oh,
holy
so
water.
it's
the-
not 25 and 25. It's just the 25. It's
Right.
just-
Yeah, it just costs.
But yeah, but you'd have to have the silver, ground up silver worth.
So I'll go shopping. when I get a
I wonder
chance.
if just turning.
Was
silver
it
coin
pretty
into
dark
powdered
when-
silver is a felony in this country.
I was gonna
too.
say they
Was
probably
it-
don't
was
prefer that you deface the currency.
Was it basically
Good buy.
evening and dark by the time we came in and all the shops were starting to close up, other than
Yeah,
the
that was
inns and
fine.
bars, I assume?
It most of the shops don't look like they're closing up, especially with the proximity of what would be considered a holiday coming up and the extra people coming in. Most of them look like they're staying open a little bit later.
For the sake of expediency, could I forgot to look up how much arrows
What, you
cost,
want
but
to
I
go
just
rob some poor guy?
no, I was just gonna restock on arrows.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know
I'm just
how
gonna
much.
follow
cost.
misery and then rob him.
you're not gonna get much. I have 59 gold.
I don't know how much.
If it's what and I don't remember what it was, but I think it's somewhere around 75 gold a piece for everybody.
For an arrow?
No, for what we
Oh,
got
we
from
would all go.
Oh, okay.
when we looted the.
I was like, wow, are you kidding me? 75
It's
gold
an-
for an arrow?
It's an intensive process to make an arrow. No, I think it's like
It's pretty cheap.
it's like
I
1
think.
gold
Shouldn't be
for
too
10
expensive.
arrows or something like that.
It is.
I would expect it cheaper than
Might
that.
be.
even.
Go away! Don't show me.
Oh,
that.
here we go. Here's
Arrows, 1 gold piece for 1 pound, which is
Here.
20 of them.
20.
Nice.
Could
Yeah,
I
so
get? I can. Is there? This is probably a dumb question, but is there like a limit to how much stuff you can put in the bag of holding?
Yes,
There is. Okay.
technically there is.
Arrows are not gonna get you close to that.
Okay.
limit,
So I was
though.
kind of thinking of
It is
doing
a.
what Vex did, is like just buy a crap load of arrows and
I
then.
think it's like a 10 by 10 foot room, 10 by 10 by 10 foot room essentially.
And also, who has the bag of holding?
Ashlar.
Ashlar.
Okay. I'm just making sure you are aware because you
Mhm.
can't just be like, hey, I went through my ammunition. I'm just going to reach into Ashlog's pocket and
Yeah.
I
Like,
think
You must be adjacent to this character in order to trade with Convoy.
in the Critical Role recap, they talk about how at one point Vex or
oh yeah, they kept track of
Critical Role stats keeps track of how many arrows they used.
yeah.
And somewhere during the campaign, they're like, "How do you want arrows?" And she's like, "Well, as soon as the first time we got money, I bought like 1,000 arrows and put them in the bag of holding, and just said I'm going to use them up as I go."
Right. And just
And
replenish between battles kind of thing.
and like throughout the whole campaign, crit roll stats, she fired like 300 arrows.
That
So-
sounds about right.
I mean, that's a lot.
And that's
That is-
not even assuming that you pick up half of them. Because
Right.
if you retrieve them, you get
The
half of them
recovery,
back.
yeah.
hmm So yeah, so I was like,
many do you need?
five gold for 50. Isn't that it? Is that correct?
It'd be
5 gold for 100.
Oh,
Five
5 gold for
gold for
100. Sure, I'll do 5 gold for 100.
Okay.
It's pretty
You now
safe
have 100
bet.
arrows.
Are you shopping?
So yeah, for 50 gold, you can get 1,000 arrows.
You sure?
Yeah,
I'll
that's-
be shopping. Sure.
It's not
And do you want me to
and
get?
just
I'll
as
go
a
out.
note,
That's fine.
you would be getting those from. Let's say I have this.
Oh, do I still have the hat of constant fan blowing?
Yes.
I forget. Am I
Yeah,
wearing
I
that,
forgot
aren't I?
about
Are you wearing the hat? Do you want to wear the hat?
Unless there's like probably in the cave I wouldn't, but I'm wearing the hat.
You're
Can I
wearing
see
the
this?
hat.
Yeah.
Good. You would have gotten that from Amir's arms, just as an FYI. But yeah,
Oh, that sounds familiar.
young half orc. Amir is the one who works there.
I assume Ashlog would want to check in on what's his face. The
The
Ale for one?
Ale for one.
for
Yeah.
one. But
But
that's
she's not here. So, so wait, did you want me to go pick up other materials while I
No,
was
I
out
mean,
shopping?
if it's, I was assuming, if we have, do we still have a day off before the thing?
Yes,
You
we
do.
still have
Oh,
one
in
more
that
day.
case, I would shop and do this poison stuff that I was talking about.
Okay.
I would buy the golden dust and then spend the day making antivenoms and stuff.
Okay. So go ahead. Just we'll assume during your downtime for the day that you managed to rustle up whatever.
I would have had money I would have probably made 2 actually, now that it's 25 gold per. So.
Yeah. I was about to say, and you would have been able to get the silver powder from Mystical Market. But yeah,
Okay.
so you're good. You should be good for Amir's arms.
I would like to go to an arcane shop and get the special inks needed to transcribe spells.
Okay.
I don't remember
You should be
what
able to
they
get.
cost.
You mean from the mystical market?
Yeah, I was going to say Mystical Market. You can go and grab whatever supplies you need. I was going to say, and both of y'all, of course, meet
Okay.
Aurelia,
So yeah,
the female dragonborn
Um,
who hides within the pocket dimension.
okay.
50 gold for each level. I only have 59 gold, so I will just get 1 level's worth of special inks.
Okay, yeah. So everyone should get 75 gold.
Dude. From you?
I believe so. No, I think that's wrong. Because I was like out.
You found a sizable amount of gold between
Yeah.
all of the guys that were strung up.
Yeah, we'll say everyone gets 75.
Neat.
Cool. That sounds right.
Okay.
I now have way more gold than I did before.
The Mystical Market, is that the one that had the separate
Mhm.
branches that we went into and
Yep.
stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
those
I'm going to
separate,
stop
but
by
not-
there and ask about a scroll of comprehend languages.
Okay. You run into Violet.
The shop owner?
The wizard.
The wizard. I'm gonna have to remember. I believe he was mostly old man. My many voices that don't all sound the same. I promise.
I love getting to your Revlog pop up here and there.
Miss that guy.
I like to pretend that it's just Revlog is other NPCs wearing a mask. Like,
No, I'm totally different.
Rust Monster Soup. I mean, I'm a gnome.
Do my best. We should be able to. Nope. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look them up. Either way, yeah, we should be able to get you a scroll of comprehend languages. Not terribly difficult or costly. What level spells comprehend languages is it first?
It's a level 1 spell, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure.
Mm.
1 or 2.
Rolled 3 2s in a row.
I tell you what. Give me give me a day, and
Okay. This is something I would have done first
Yeah.
thing in the morning of our free day.
give me a day, and
What's that first?
I'll have that ready for you tomorrow morning. We'll say that we can go for 75 gold. Right?
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know that you've been trying to expand your horizons,
Yeah, I was,
and we'll call it a fellow
Really?
magician.
was really looking forward to that scroll of fine familiar, but my party's needs precede my own, unfortunately.
Well, just remember, if you happen to come across anything fancy, I would be more than happy to apprehend it from you, so I can use it to further my own study.
I will certainly.
Okay. So he goes off. He's going to be making that for the majority of the day.
What?
Do you need any of my money? at the time?
What I got from the group stuff is just enough to cover it. Between what I got from Steven and from what I stole from the guy last night, I just I have 9 gold left.
Okay.
But I'll have comprehend languages.
I guess casting class who has to
Buy their spells.
buy their spells
No,
seems
right?
so hard.
I mean,
Seems so
like,
hard.
to be fair, I've got a slew of other spells. It's the ones that I want to have ritual access to are the ones that are expensive.
Mhm.
Because those, especially for warlock, are very valuable.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now I have 3. Tiny hut, identify, floating disc. Actually, I think I have other ones that I haven't. I've got a couple others, beast sense, that I
Beast
just
sense,
haven't.
Yep.
I thought I
Tempter's Floating Disc, Identify, Beast Sense,
I don't-
and Tiny Hut are the 4 that you got in the tome.
say him again.
Tempter's Floating Disc, Identify, Beast Sense.
Identify. That was the one that I had duplicate of.
Yep.
I don't remember if I transcribed beast sense into my book. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure I did. Let me just check those spell levels real quick.
While he's doing that, was there anything else that we want to take care of in our final day before?
In the day off.
I'm gonna go.
I did not,
Okay.
because I wouldn't have had enough money to do that.
Okay.
So I do not have beast sense. At this point.
grab supplies for food and torches. 'Cause some of us need torches.
And then someone
What
needs. Well, someone doesn't need to, but it would be helpful if someone could maybe research.
Oh, that's true.
dragons.
I would be happy to do that. Well, I can't.
Well, because this is still the evening.
No, I
before
can't. I can't.
This is the evening of. We just got
Tomorrow
back.
is when the
Tomorrow
Um,
is a full day.
So
And then
it-
it starts.
So we
right?
have.
I was going to say,
2 hours.
It doesn't start
plus
tomorrow.
8.
It starts the day after
No,
tomorrow.
I would've
yes,
spent 10
I was going
hours
to say,
working
some
on my
people already
thing.
have things that they
Well,
need
that-
to be doing on
That could
that
be the
next
night,
day.
and
But
then we
yeah,
still have a
if
full
you have
free
something
day.
that you want to do the night before, we can do that.
Yeah,
If you wanna
just
do it
stock
on-
up on
Oh, researching overnight.
Okay.
No.
supplies.
You-
I guess, and I
Yeah,
don't sleep.
Well, I don't know, like
food
hour-wise how it would
for
work.
a week.
Sure.
Food for a week and torches. We'll say you can get another 5 torches and food for a week for about 15 copper.
Okay.
If you want nicer food, you can spend a little bit more, but you have food to get you by at least.
Is that food for the party?
Is that food for the party?
Yeah, it's food for the
It's food for the party.
Okay. Do we need to get winter clothes?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
Oh, I might.
Is that something that
Shoot, I should have looked up the hag in that book. Dag nabbit.
hang on? But oh well, doesn't matter.
Oh.
It would have been
there's
nice to
that.
know what kind
Also,
of.
I have this long
value.
sword which I cannot use.
Oh, I have a winter blanket, so I'm good.
You want to try and sell it?
Just wrap it around myself when we walk.
Okay.
I would like to get winter clothes for myself. Does anyone else want winter clothes? I know you said you don't need them because you have resistance to cold, Do you want winter, like actually winter clothes?
I would
Opposed to
like
just
a heavy cloak.
Okay.
If we're going shopping.
Okay, so that's 2 winter clothes.
How much are they?
I don't know.
It's not too much, sure.
If it's over 9 gold, don't buy me one.
If it's over 9 gold, that's a nice cloak.
I mean, I don't really understand like the value of like how much 9 gold is. But
The one that
I imagine.
for perspective, the one that I'm currently wearing is worth about 4 copper. So
Gotcha. So
Okay.
yes or no for you?
So
Yeah, well,
selling
I
to Amir's.
Hmm?
You're gonna try and sell that long sword over to Amir's arms. I'm guessing.
Is it
The
magical?
local.
I also have I have a war pick. No, it's just a normal longsword that I got from something.
And a war pick.
These notes say it's worth 5 gold, and then the longsword is worth 15.
That would be accurate to what I have.
Mm-hmm.
So where did remind me where you got that war pick?
I think that was from when like
One of Revlog's friends.
one of
oh yeah, one of the Durgar, or not Dur.
They were Durgar. No, they were.
Yeah,
Some
they
of them,
were
there were some
There were some
Durgar.
Durgar.
I don't remember who had it.
I don't remember.
Okay, no,
I've been
then
carting
that's
that thing
what I
around
thought.
the whole
I
time.
don't
Okay.
remember if Red Long.
You just sell it? What do you do?
So
I've just had it. It's also a martial weapon, so I can't use it. I just
you make your way. I'm just gonna guess that both of you guys are at Amir's arms at the same time, since both y'all were, or since you had to go for the arrows. You're over there talking with Amir, this grizzly orc, half orc that seemed to have been busy crafting his stuff anyways, but he takes a second, looks you up. You want to sell me something?
don't have much use for it.
Put it out on the table. Okay.
I'll put the longsword and the thing on there. War pick.
This is interesting. Looks to be a dwarvish.
It was.
It's very hefty.
As one would expect a war pick to be.
used.
Still
Yeah.
covered in blood from the previous owner.
More particular brand of violence is a little more
I tell you what,
finesse based and slappy.
I don't necessarily deal in consignment, but I'm willing to offer you 2 gold for it.
How much would it be to buy a new one?
For a new one, I would charge you 7. Got to make money somehow. Plus, you don't see very many people buying used items from my store. I kind of built up a name around here for my own brand, but I think I could get rid of it if enough time passes.
Okay. How about a sword? How much does that go for?
Sword barely looks used. Tell you what. 10 gold for the sword.
So it'd be 12 total.
12 total.
That's more than I have.
I don't remember where I got the longsword.
While he's talking to you, you see him set down one of his brands down into the fire.
Well, what do you think? Now, I don't have all day. I have to get back. Very busy season we got here.
That'd be 12 total.
12
How
total.
about 12 total, and I'll take a couple dots.
I'll toss in a couple darts for you.
And I'll believe
Darts, not dots.
I can do
That's what I
that.
heard.
I was like, why does he want dots? What does that mean?
He-
Like,
he
some
He
dots?
reaches
Like, what's
over,
going on here?
grabs 5 darts.
Heal.
takes the brand out. You just see him. You see him brand his logo into the base of the sword. Puts it up
Nice.
on the wall.
Nice doing business with you.
That works.
Note to self: don't buy from him.
I see that has your brand on there. It's awfully new. A couple of the brands on there.
I mean, it really is barely used. I don't
Yeah.
remember where I got it, but all I used it for was to chop off the heads of the Oni and whatever
Yeah.
else we killed.
No, it's barely used if I remember correctly. But yeah. So you managed to get that.
You were shopping.
Okay, so I need to.
Oh, was it just arrows?
From
Well,
the
I got
arms
the arrows
store.
from Emir's, and then I was also looking for wanting to get 3 pairs of winter clothes.
That's right.
One for a dwarf, one for a tiefling, and then one for a halfling. I don't know if.
I'm sure it's one size fits all.
Yeah, pretty much it just stretches. And then if Fire or Ashlug later tell me that they want it, then I have been happy to get some stuff for them as well. Just trying to like a thick cloak and then some other warm stuff for traveling in the mountains if we do end up going north.
Just for yourself or just you said
For the 3 of us.
3 of you?
So dwarf, tiefling, and myself, depending on how expensive they are.
You find a couple for about 3 silver a piece.
Okay.
They're fairly nice cloaks. They will definitely keep you warm.
Okay.
They are a glorious green in color for not like neon green. We're talking like a tasteful like forest type green, white trim. It looks nice.
Okay.
Nice enough.
Okay. I will get 3 of those. So let's see, you said 3 apiece. So that's 22 silver left. And then a hat for me as well.
They'll toss in my hat. You can have
One
a hat.
hat.
You find a hat that looks oddly similar to his, except it doesn't make your hair blow in the wind.
Well, more of like a stocking cap was more of what I was
Oh,
thinking.
Fine, take
It's
whatever
like
you
mine,
want.
but warm.
I would like to go to the bounty board and look for any jobs that can be performed today.
So we'll say that we have moved forward to because I will say with the shopping that was originally done, we are to the day before. So because
That's what I mean.
he was trying to do, yeah. So yeah, day of. You check out the bounty board. It is crowded. You see many adventurers checking out the bounty board for potential jobs that they can either take care of right before the hunt starts, or even
When you say it's
potentially-
crowded, do you mean the bounty board is crowded, or like people are crowding
People
around it,
are-
or it's covered with stuff?
people are crowded around it.
Okay.
It is actually looking fairly picked through. You see many papers that have been torn off from the actual bounty board. You see one actual paper that seems to be untouched, and it still seems to be the same Gretchen.
Missing children?
Yeah, missing children that no one seems to want to do.
But nothing else that's like, oh, hey, I could knock this out in an afternoon for a little extra coin.
You don't necessarily see anything. Most of the stuff that you can gather that was up there were for larger hassles, more geared towards people coming in for the actual hunt.
Okay.
Many of the small odd jobs have been removed, and actually, you
Gotcha.
do see a letter bearing the king's insignia down bottom right, basically basically has the text of only jobs approved
Gotcha.
by the crown to be placed here for the next fortnight. Normal jobs resume after.
Okay. When I'm in, I got the itch.
Pick,
Do you
I'm trying to
see-
think.
pick the adventurers' pockets. They probably don't have weapons on them.
I'm trying to think if I'm imagining like in the hustle and bustle of a crowded area where people are constantly. Is it like mosh pit kind of bumping into each other, or just like Gen Con where you're walking past people but we're not colliding?
It
You
is.
didn't collide with people.
I might have.
We'll say it's about Gen Con level of crowded.
Okay.
People are moving out and through. The board that you're looking at is the one that is not necessarily middle of town, but there is one in the public space towards
Okay.
actually where because that's where y'all found the one after finding fire. Same one there, but yeah, there's a lot of foot traffic going through, people looking at the board and passing on. The hotel that y'all are in seems to be almost filled to capacity at this point, with many other well-to-do looking folk, most of which bear the king's blessing to be in the king's gambit, because that is the only way that you can get in there.
Right. Yeah, I'll let it be.
Okay. Okay. Are we good for the day?
I would go ahead and I have a questions. I don't think this would be an issue with this, but regarding the potion making, it says it's 8 hours to make a potion, but if you do multiple at the same time, it's less.
Yeah.
Would that be 8 hours per minus some, or less than 8 hours to make multiple potions?
I would say for each additional potion that you want to make, add an additional 2 hours too.
Okay, so I'm making any items such as half the time, so it would technically only be like 6 hours. So I still have some of the day. So I'm gonna go to the Temple of Agma and look up dragons.
Okay. Agma was here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Was he?
Agma is in
not be.
Tyne.
Oh shoot.
The one that's here was Helm was here, and also what's it called? God of the Hunt.
I'll go to the God of the Hunt and see if they have any material.
Okay.
I meant like maybe rumors of dragons or like
Info on yeah.
Here.
Okay. Okay. You make your way. Anyone else want to go with him?
I'll go with him.
Okay.
Is this the next day?
This is the day before.
I have another potion question too.
Yield next day.
Wait, so are we in the half day or are we in the full day, the full off day?
This is our full off day.
This is
Tomorrow
our
is
full
when the hunt starts.
Okay, this is our full off day. Okay.
Okay.
If you guys want, if you don't think this will be important, you can say, let's just move on.
I would like to
I think research for dragons is important. enough.
find any sort of like appraiser or something to get an idea of the value of the parts that we collected from the hag and the oni.
Okay.
But we're giving those away, right? Or do we get money for them?
No, those are our.
I mean, we could turn them
potential-
in as
potential contributions for the hunt.
as hunt trophies.
I thought that was the plan.
Yeah, but it can't hurt to know what they're worth.
Right.
It's not like I'm selling them. I'm just asking.
Okay. So first things first, let's go ahead. As you make your way into the temple, you manage to find a familiar face as you are greeted by Draw.
Wait, what? Draw's in this city?
Yeah,
Roll
this is where we
away.
dropped him off with the headache.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Drawl.
KJ's character.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a throwback.
Drawl is all spiffied up in robes that seem to be matching others that you, others who seem to reside in the temple.
KJ, if you'll come downstairs now.
KJ walks down from Texas where he has been waiting.
He's like, "Are you kidding me? An hour of robbing some noble Chris for real?"
like, you guys waited this long to bring me down. Why?
It's 9:30.
Drawl, I see you've you found your way. You seem to be happy.
Oh, hey, look, a spider.
Like an actual spider?
Oh, like an actual spider.
Oh. Kill it with fire.
Hey, I would appreciate if you did not.
Oh,
Is that what a
that
brown
leads into my
recluse looks
potion
like?
question.
Yeah.
So I made antivenoms
Yes.
from the poison
Ask if
spider
you be a
poison
brown
guns.
recluse.
Do they only heal spider poison, or do they heal all types of poison?
They heal poison specific to whatever type.
Creature it came from.
Yeah, not creature,
Oh, the type.
but like if it is poison
think it
conditioned, it will heal poison
I
condition. If it
Brown
is,
recluses are like tiny,
uh,
I think.
I thought that they.
if it is poison,
Varied greatly in size.
poison
They
damage,
can get big.
it will heal like
I mean,
ongoing
this one's
poison
not
damage.
Have you seen it before,
Um,
Stephen?
Okay, so
Do you know what they look like?
I'll look it up. Whatever.
I was about to say, I believe I have it listed on there. If I don't, I will update your list because I have a list of it.
a normalish spider. I was gonna say it's got
Okay, so
a notable
that was my
black
question.
part, which I don't think brown.
Which is to say, like,
Yeah, I would say
yeah,
that's not a brown.
I really need to update your information that you have because you have a lot of really cool stuff that you can do, and I need to make sure that
Thank you.
you in fact know how to. Okay. Yeah.
That's
a dead
um,
recluse.
I thought.
I don't remember
Drow.
Drawl's character much, anyways.
He was a fighter.
He was a
with-
fighter. Well, yeah.
What was his
he was
race?
a fighter.
He was a human.
Human fighter.
He, from what I recall, he looked like the guy in the. He said he kind of looked like the guy in the player's handbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
Doing-
don't. He had an
doing-
accent for it, and I
doing
cannot
stuff.
emulate his accent.
Oh, do we still have
at
his
all.
stats?
Yeah, I still have this sheet.
Now he's got like plus 2 more levels of cleric or something.
You don't know.
Multi-class.
He's got nine for wisdom.
It's so good to see a familiar
He's gonna be a
face.
great cleric.
Stephen,
How have you been? What have I missed?
Well, surviving.
That's
You
good.
missed, I mean, we've lost people. We've lost you. We've lost Dusk.
I almost died.
Dusk. Dusk.
Still alive. Still alive.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Is it though? Is it? Is it a good thing that
We're
that's
too
still
sure he's
alive?
going to be a BBEG later.
Don't know what that means, but okay.
Picked up a very talkative fellow. Yeah, we're preparing for the hunt right now.
Oh yes, we have
I'm sure you're pretty busy this time of year.
absolutely. As of course, I'm still quite new to all of this, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out in what ways I can help. There's lots of people coming with many questions. I mean, of course, God of the Hunt. One would imagine we know a thing or two about it. But yes, what?
Do you guys have any books or information you can share regarding dragons? We've heard. I think we might go hunting for a dragon up north.
A
And
dragon?
We'd like to know what we're getting into, so we know whether we should, whether it's even something we should pursue. If it,
Absolutely no. We
absolutely no.
we-
Do not pursue a dragon.
I mean, I just
what we should be prepared for when we do pursue it.
shocked that y'all have gotten to the point where y'all can now even think about facing dragons. That's amazing.
Well, I don't know if we're at
The
that
first
point
thing you
yet.
guys fought was a dragon.
It's true. We did.
didn't
and
fight a dragon.
will-
We fought
No, we did
with
not.
a
We fought
dragon.
with. There's a huge
and
difference.
the
Oh.
Big difference.
power
What we can call
of
it a
that
favor.
dragon was quite impressive.
Hey, Queen Beth,
I
you
just
wanna come over from
I
Cruel
cannot-
Palace?
cannot even
Kill one of your
expect-
kind.
I cannot even expect having to have gone up against the queen myself. But yeah, we should be able to offer some resources. I can definitely see if we have any leads, friend to friend.
Now, we had the bounty board for kill dragons. Who issued that? Do we know? Who are we supposed to report to collect that reward?
Oh, I do believe that one was issued by the state.
Okay, that was what I thought.
Yeah, I know that, especially in
Didn't we take the slip of paper?
Yes, we took all of them.
Yes, the state does sponsor several of these bounties just to kind of get a good amount of people somewhere to go. A lot of people come in from all over the country, and they're just not quite sure where everything is. They're not local, I guess. But I do believe I've heard several adventurers talking about the dragon up to the north. It's something that you don't see a lot of nowadays. Sorry.
Bless you, bro.
Yes.
The blessing of Helm upon you. Or whichever gun
It's
you're
Helm,
serving at.
yeah.
Oh, you're serving at Helms.
At Helms.
Yeah,
Helms Depot.
I've heard several of them, several adventurers talk about going up north to seek fame and finding a dragon. They just haven't seen any in the past couple of years. Many of them were thought to have been hunted to extinction, especially with their value.
Their value.
Yes, dragons have much value whenever it comes to the hunt. That's part of the reason why they're so scarce now. Previous hunts nearly wiped them all out.
Vendel's Department of Natural Resources needs to get it in gear.
Well, I mean,
Sense of misery
better-
from the shadows.
it's better to have dragons not attacking the city than to have an excess of them.
Damaging the environment and harming the ecosystem.
You're not there.
You're right.
But yeah, I will. Let me talk to some of the higher ups. We might be able to get you some information about them. I do know, depending on the age of the dragon, it might be easy to find one just based on inclement weather or some things to look out for. I've heard some other people talking about trying to bait out the dragon. I'm not even sure what you would use to quite bribe a dragon into coming out. But I'd imagine if it's a dragon to the north, it's probably going to be a white dragon. They tend to like snowy climates.
So expect snow.
I like that. That's your takeaway.
Good thing Ramus, my little buddy, bought us winter clothes.
I do
Thank you,
believe snow would probably be expected. I also do know that white dragons are particularly aggressive. Just keep your wits about you. I'd hate to have friends lost out in the mountains.
Thank you. We'll do our best to stay alive. If you come across any other helpful information, we're staying at the, or you just want to come hang out, we're staying at the, I forget the name.
King's Gambit.
We're staying somewhere. Good luck finding us.
No,
All right, bye.
I do recall staying there for the first
Yeah,
time.
same place you stayed with us.
Yeah, I will see if I can make some time either tonight or tomorrow, and I'll try and make my way over.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else you seek at?
No.
Oh.
That info.
I'd like to use the sending stone and ask the king
where and when he would like us tomorrow.
Okay. You do get. I'm assuming.
What
would
do you
want,
say?
Would you want to do this with everyone else around, or are you doing
Sure.
this-
I'll wait till we're all convened, and then I'll throw the sending stone at Rainian and let him do it.
Okay.
That's a pretty
what-
long throw.
Well, I said I'm going to wait until we're all around.
It's a campaign cross though.
Dag nabbit. Fractal? Okay.
You know,
It's canon. They're both around. Same role.
I'm going
Um,
to sit in the tavern and wait until our campaigns convert and then give Rainian the stone.
because he's a drow.
Vinny's been here the whole time,
What,
just behind everyone else.
Tanian? How would you like to address
Fractal.
the king? Nope, we're going with Tanian.
Before he speaks into the sending stone, just in case, I'm gonna touch his shoulder and cast guidance.
Good call. Good call.
So I have 25 words
25 words.
or less.
Oh, I guess he wouldn't do any
Do.
persuasions, but- For some reason, I thought he might have to make
Do you-
persuasion.
Are you
I don't want to say. Good time of day, Majesty. Requesting information about when and where for tomorrow's glorious ceremony of gloriousness.
25 words.
That's less than 25.
Your Highness, just checking in.
Checking in.
You're a fifth
fired.
of the way there.
As representatives of Kruika,
Right. That's
um, I can't think of the word.
you have 10 words left.
Where would you like us to be during tomorrow's ceremonies?
Okay.
That'll be it.
You have 6 words left if you want.
And what time?
Don't forget to mention the time.
And when would you like us there?
And when would you like us?
Okay. The response you hear is not the king.
Fantastic.
You hear a female voice come over.
It's the hag.
I do recall you.
It's the hat.
You didn't have it then.
It's the hat.
That impressive, huh?
The place that you are required is the foot of the stage.
Balls.
The stage.
The time is noon. I look forward to seeing you.
Do you recognize her voice at all?
It is the princess.
Mm.
Fascinating.
Did Dosk hit on her?
Yeah.
Paul
Does
did.
hit on everyone.
Does hit on everyone.
Mhm.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Are we done for the night?
That was all I needed, I guess.
I would have. I'm gonna give you one of my anti-venoms. It's an anti-venom of poison condition.
Where was Trin?
I would like to actually.
I've lost track of Trick.
Just when I'm in the shop in the morning, the Mysterium
Mystical
Market. Yeah. Just ask and see if there was any like
Antitoxin?
work that he would have for
He called
me
it
that I could do
anti-venom,
just
yeah.
for the day, like helping out enchanting or just like
Oh, the morning before?
Advantage on saving
or
throws
the
against
like the
poison
morning
from
of
yeah, because I had nothing the day before.
The day
The day
okay.
before, because I had nothing to do all that
Holy
day.
cow.
What does an antitoxin do?
No other
Antitoxin
rich people.
gains advantage on saving throws
Not gonna
against
push my
poison
luck.
for 1 hour.
I think the thing I have
Try again
heals
next time
the
before
poison
that, you're
killer.
like that.
It can be used either way,
Okay.
if you so choose.
I figure I'll give it to a frontline person because I'm not going to be frontline.
Okay.
25.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mylan offers for 5 gold for a day's work if you would be willing to.
Heck yeah, that doubles my resources.
If you'd be willing to stick around the mystical market and his workshop and just assist.
Yep.
You spend the day grabbing beakers, and Mylan is a very eclectic man. Talks to himself a lot. I should say mutters to himself a lot, most of which unintelligible. Very, very intelligent guy that you can tell, just not great with people. It's a lot of the beaker, the beaker. Can you give me the beaker? Okay. Thank you. I need you to put. I need to mix these two components very carefully. All throughout the day, just kind of micromanaging things that he mostly felt comfortable doing himself, but it's nice to have someone else around, and maybe as time goes on, you'll be able to do it yourself. But yeah, with that, let's say that we have our long rest the night of the hunt, and y'all will be waking up to the day of. I appreciate everyone's patience.
Me too, guys. Thanks for being here.
Especially yours, Melissa,
This is
because
fine.
it would appear that maybe you stayed the entire time. I'm not sure.
I think I might be one of them because I joined at one point.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What are we at right now?
We're at 2.
We've been at 2.
And unfortunately, it doesn't let me see who.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, I hope that
Melissa, if you're listening, leave a comment.
And like and subscribe.
like and subscribe.
Smash that like button.
Nice.
I already
Ring the
had
bell
one
to get
subscriber.
notifications.
I did not subscribe, nor did I leave a comment.
But yeah, I appreciate you all coming over. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Thank you for the pot
Thank
roast.
you. That was pot roast was delectable.
I have 2 likes, guys. I have 2 likes.
I am the other like.
It
wasn't great.
Who's the second one?
Perhaps it was Chronic Ghost.